Yo, hello.
Yo. Sorry.
No, you're fine. welcome in, everybody. Thank you guys first for joining us on the talk show so goddamn early. Look at all these hosts coming in. Look at all you guys. Seriously.
Toasty.
It's good to see all of you. Foxdicious, Cold Diggity, Savage Stalker, Jordan. Lots of love. A lot of really good fucking people in here. Skinny P, my favorite DJ.
Spinning that vinyl.
Yeah. For those of you guys who are unfamiliar.
With the needle, dude.
That's a talent right there.
Yeah, 100%. Tonight's gonna be a really special episode. For all you guys who are unfamiliar with the show, just a quick synopsis of the show. I started the show a while ago with my buddy Lee, and it originally was like a science fueled talk show, and slowly but surely it evolved into this bigger thing where it's just about sharing experience. And so the experience talk show has been born. Both Bobo and Kyle, our guests today, have been on the show before, mano y mano. I've never done a 3-person interview before. I guess it's not really an interview, it's just a conversation. That's what this is. So during the show, you'll see like alerts are muted, just so we can stay on topic and not get distracted. And if you guys have any questions, exclamation point question here explains how it works. So if you have a question or you want to contribute an idea and everything's like moving too quickly, and you want to make sure your voice is heard, do exclamation point Q and type in your anecdote or a question that you want us to answer. I give Bobo and Kyle full reign to also address something in chat if it's on topic, or you see it and you want to address it right then and there. But yeah, before we get started, like on the whole, just having a conversation, I think it's proper we introduce ourselves. So I'll let you go first, Bobo.
Nah.
Oh, Mayfair.
God.
My name is BoboChet, and ignore everything that's on the sides here. I'm in a room with also some guinea pigs, so this is
Wasn't
kind of the
looking at
stream
it
room.
until you talked about it.
Yeah.
All right, so just don't pay mind to it.
He's just stretching.
Yeah, I'm just stretching. But my name is BoboChet. My real name is Joe. Some people know about that, and I mentioned earlier that everyone in this call right now has very basic guy names. Disagree?
Strong
Okay,
disagree.
Okay, Kyle. But a former speedrunner, class clown of speedrunning is something I called myself. But now I'm just kind of branching out, doing different things lately. And I don't know what else to say about myself. It's always an awkward situation. So I'm just going to awkwardly pass it over to Kyle and slowly slide off camera.
I'm going to say you should follow Bobo because he is a very quick-witted comedic mind, and he's a master of his craft of creating a very fun and welcoming environment. I know you said people say that about a lot of streamers, but I really like BoboChet, so.
Oh,
Also, me, Steve, also big fan of BoboChet. Hello.
Right.
Aw.
This is the BoboChet stand stream.
You guys sell me more than I sell me. I'm just saying, like,
It's true.
I don't know. I did speedrunner at some points. Now I don't know what I'm doing.
That's what your fans do, though. Your
Yeah.
fans, I don't know, dude. Fans to friends, sort of thing. It was like, yeah, I've told you this before, but you've been a huge inspiration on like me being comedic on Twitch because I didn't really understand that you could do that, and just watching you do it your own unique way was like, okay, well, I need to find my like comedic identity on Twitch because that's what I like to do. You know, I like to make people laugh and like be silly, and even if the jokes like don't land for everybody, and I think it's funny. You know, that's what's gonna happen.
I mean, I say a lot of jokes that don't land.
Yeah.
And you know when they don't land, because then, you know, in your mind, you're like, sounds pretty funny. You have like a second to think about it. Either you commit or you don't.
Yeah.
And then you commit, and then halfway through, you're like, oh man, I shouldn't. This is borderline cringe.
You're 3/4 through the punchline, and you know that like you've already led yourself on too much that it's not going to land the way that you want it to. It's like it's like if you're driving a car and like you're going towards your exit on the highway, but like you know like the median between the highway and like the actual like you're like oh shit no, like, you go over there, but the passenger seat's like not comfortable with this, like you're scared. Just a disaster.
That's basically how it is.
It's a really complex anecdote for a very simple bad joke. You're welcome.
Yeah.
I liked it.
No, but nailed it.
Kyle, you ready to
sometimes
introduce? Wait, you got to introduce
Oh, yeah.
yourself, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Kyle, we
Hey,
passed
guys.
you off like a while ago.
I'm Kyle. Previous really gave a shit about streaming. Current really kind of making just content wherever I'm around. I make a lot of shit on Twitter. A lot of satirical based comedy, and clearly anecdote observational based comedy. I like that kind of stuff a lot. My streams are very chill. We listen to chill music. We play WoW. We play Minecraft. We talk about a lot of interesting topics, and I make a fool of myself by not reading the instructions. That's my elevator pitch of what I do.
Pretty great though. That's
And I go on
what
people's
do.
talk shows, and people tell me I'm interesting, but I mean, you know.
Well, we had a great. We had a.
Well, there's two
There's
other
some,
guys. Am I right?
You can tell like based on how good a conversation is, like sincerely, based on the amount of tangents, and like both you and Bobo, like I couldn't even think of two. I was like two people who can go on tangents. I'm like, we're gonna talk till somebody needs to go. Is pretty much what's gonna happen.
That's what happened to us last time.
Yeah.
I was just like, it was like 3.5 hours, and I'm like, it's 12 o'clock, donkey.
Donkey. It's 12 o'clock.
It's 12 o'clock, donkey.
This became a Shrek movie.
What? Yeah.
I think when me and Konky were on, we went on for a little bit too.
Longest talk show.
We longest talk show.
4.5 hours. Close to 5 hours. Yeah.
Oh man. Yo,
Yeah.
do you guys got work tomorrow?
No.
But I didn't. I'm gonna say I don't want to do that. Just straight up.
Breaking the record today.
Yeah. I've got a pretty good gauge of like when it's no longer working very or when it's not, when the breakdown in conversation starts to happen.
Oh,
When you kind of see like, once the conversation slowly dying down and like someone will say something and then the response is, yep, yeah.
Yeah, but you've got an advantage though, Bobo, right now.
You're making me hurt.
You've got the advantage right now because you slept like until right now, so you're
right.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
still trying to wake up a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I worked like all day.
Yeah.
I went to a company picnic today. I got so many thoughts and opinions about company picnics. You have like in just corporate life and like the general bullshittery surrounding it. I'm exhausted from all the small talk. What can I say?
What's sort of like what kind of
is.
what's the small talk that you were like repeating over and over again?
So actually, I generally when I've kind of figured out a rhythm where I show up, I find like one person that I'm comfortable with, and I just latch onto them the entire night. And
That's a good call.
We just bitch about everything. That's usually how it works. But sometimes you end up in that conversation with a manager, and like they decide to talk about projects, and you're like, yeah, real busy that time I had to work. Like it's like I'm like, I just shut up and go eat a hot dog, Scott. Like I don't want to talk about the project we did last week.
Oh god.
Hey, I got a Scott that I work with too. That is, he talks a lot about projects. I feel like it's just Scott.
Is it a Scott thing?
Scott.
Yeah, I guess it's a
Scott's
Scott
are all
thing.
business.
Yeah,
If we're
Scott's
gonna
are all
be slandering
business.
Kyle
No,
names,
they're all
I'm gonna
projects.
I'm gonna make a Scott meme.
Yeah.
Yeah, Scots are all project managers. That's what they are.
we're gonna need to bring a Scott on the show. Just
That's
so
valid.
It's, Steve,
Yeah.
Joe.
Is there
Kyle,
anybody that
Scott.
we know that's named Scott?
I don't know.
I don't know anybody
I
named
don't know
Scott.
any like streamer Scots.
Yeah.
We can get your Scott to start streaming, and then
What's up, Ash?
just talk to you about like projects and whatnot.
God, do you guys
Yeah.
talk about your streams like in your full-time job / student, whatever it is you do with your life?
Yes.
You talk about
My
it?
coworkers actually watch my stream.
Same.
Huh?
Yeah,
My
same.
boss,
Yeah?
too.
Saturday morning,
Yeah.
I have somebody who's like a dedicated Saturday morning person.
Good for them.
Yeah.
I have coworkers that are aware of it and are supportive, but they come in from time to time. One of them sub to me but never watches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, but I'm always uncomfortable. So I work at a really conservative company. So at first my boss would be like, "Oh, you're going to that Twitch thing." I'm like, "Oh, you mean the convention in California?" "Yes, I'm going to that." So like, he didn't grasp the fact that it was like a whole
Thing.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
As is most people over the age of 30.
Yeah. Most
towards Twitch,
Ubers like on the way to and from the con last year, they were like, "Oh, what's happening?"
Yeah.
I had to explain like what Twitch was to 4 different people, and they were like, "Wait a second. So you telling me people pay subscriptions to
watch play video games.
to watch people play video games? The world is ending." Like,
the world's that's
Some
it.
dude-
That's the
some
way
dude
the
was-
world ends.
I
Yeah.
had to take an Uber by myself, unfortunately, just to go to a meeting. The guy was like, "Where you headed?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm headed to such and such pizza place." He's like, "Oh, what are you doing there? Meeting some friends?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm having a business meeting." He's like, "A business meeting on a Saturday?" And I'm wearing, or Friday morning. I'm wearing like street clothes.
right.
I'm like, yeah, like I'm in the town for the convention. He's like, "Is that just video games?" I'm like, "Yeah, but it's like a meeting about video games." He's like a developer, publisher, and he like wants to talk to me. I had to I give him the whole story, and he goes, They pay you for that? That's usually how the conversation goes. Like, there's all these big nuanced steps, and he's like, "You making money? How much you making? You know, how much you making?" Yeah.
People forget that like video gaming, like the video game industry is like a $1 billion industry.
I know.
People forget about that. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So how is it like really hard to grasp the idea that, hey, yeah, we make money playing video games, doing content around that, when it's a very popular concept like movies,
right?
Like 6 o'clock.
Especially like with like movie reviewers, like there's people who get paid to just review movies. Why can't people get paid to do the same thing with video games and add a spice of comedy or their own?
Because video games are for kids, dude. They're clearly toys. Like no one. Like, I don't know.
Totally.
Like, I don't know what you think that they have art involved.
When I have a child, I'm gonna have them
10 minutes to make a video game.
yeah. And like I've been on Newgrounds. I've seen those games. Yeah, 10 minutes easy.
10 minutes easy.
What, flash game? Or just like a stick figure?
Like it's just stick figures, just punching things.
Yeah. Dude, Stick Fight the game's pretty dope. Did you guys play that at all?
I've watched a lot of YouTubers play it.
Yeah, it's a fun little arcade game.
It
reminds me of that.
Have you guys ever played Duck Game?
Not yet.
I've seen
I want to
it.
play Duck Game.
It looks fun.
Yeah.
It looks interesting.
Yeah.
It's it kind of reminds me of that other game that's on Steam, like Brawlhalla or something like that.
Oh yeah, Brawlhalla is actually, people like that.
Oh, I haven't played that. Yeah.
It's a good like a platform fighter like Smash.
Oh. That's pretty neat. Oh wait, Brawlhalla. That's got like all the not wacky characters. They're just off-brand like original characters, right?
Yeah.
Didn't they say they were gonna put like Shovel Knight in there?
Hold on one
Shovel
second.
Knight
I've got
is in it.
somebody blowing me up right now.
Uh-oh. Yeah, you take care of that, man.
Right.
Tell him-
We'll just take over.
Tell him you got a show going on. Put him on the phone. Put
Yo,
him on the phone.
Buccaneer, if you're in the chat, dude, you can go fuck off, dog. Closing this DM. Rude. Get the fuck out of here, my dude.
Oh my god, he said he's calling you.
Yeah.
Can I call you?
You're banned forever. The fuck that, dude.
Oh, I want to talk to him.
I don't want. I don't have anything set up for it. I don't need to deal with that at all, dude. None of that. Wow.
You want to spill the tea? Because we're here.
Okay, let me talk about really quick what an entitled piece of shit you need to be to demand to be spoken to, and then think that you're worth talking to, dog.
Wow, you invited me here, Konky. All right.
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody that's in here talking right now, I'm pretty sure is like the priority here, and I'm not trying to be a dickhead, but goddamn, that was the rudest shit. You must be one of the worst people to. You probably don't. Wait, you got to be 16 or less.
King.
Yeah, this is a.
Just ask him how school was. That's what I do. That's
How
what I
was
do.
school?
Whenever there's fucking Minecraft children in my Minecraft chat, in my Minecraft stream, I just go, oh, how was, like, he's being a dick. I'll be like, so, Philip XX97, how was, no, sorry, Philip XX11, because it's 2011 is when they were born.
Oh, God.
Yeah, right, yeah. How was school today?
You broke
I'll
the
be like,
matrix with that
good.
one.
School was pretty good, and then Psych, my beautiful mod chat, would just immediately ban them because like
They
you're
took the bait.
clearly not 18 if you're still in middle school.
100%.
I catch people the same way, but I'm a little bit more blunt with it. I just flat out, like, if I have a feeling someone's not acting like their age, I just go in and be like, hey, how old are you? And then they're like,
yeah, how old are you?
15. Why would you even ask me this question? And then I'm like, oh, word? Yeah, I'm sorry. Yo, this is an 18+ stream.
I'm 15. Why would you ask me this question?
Yeah. So it's like, I've caught so many people with that. Although there was one person in particular who was like, I'm 24. I was like, really? I banned them anyways. I was like, I'm sorry, but this stream is for people who,
you're a shitty 24-year-old.
Yeah.
who are not assholes. I'm sorry. Like, I don't know. There's like some people who are borderlining the need to get banned, but they're not doing anything, and you just don't know how to do it without making a scene and then explaining to them.
Right.
And there's been times where I just flat out banned someone. I was like, dude, I'm gonna ban you. You're not doing anything. I just don't like you, man. I don't want you here. And I've said that 100%.
I've been because of what I've seen in other people's channels. I used to be really like lenient about it because like I'm not gonna ban for any reason. Like there's no reason for me to do it. Like the reason why you're here is to like have a conversation and talk.
If you'll excuse me.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. So what I always try to do is I approach them and try to have a conversation. But when somebody comes in and just straight up like demands to be spoken to, and is calling me like via Discord, like, dude, do you think I didn't plan like a whole thing here? Did you not see that there's like a layout, a setup with like names, of like people who are here. Did I announce to everyone like there's going to be a calling segment where we can ask questions or whatever? Like,
yeah, like
none of that
call
happened.
on the
Instead,
air.
yeah, instead it's a demand for attention. And like, if you're still here in the chat, like hanging out, I don't have like the viewer list up or anything. Like I don't keep that stuff up because I don't know who's going to be here or whatever. But if you can still hear me, you need to understand that you can't just demand something and get it.
That's like that's like 90% of a lot of people that I've met in this like generation on.
Apparently,
like,
he's
online.
streaming and calling live streams right now.
Streaming and calling. Is that what he's doing?
That's what he's doing right now. Yeah.
Oh my god. Just so that he can
Have
pull you
content.
on their content. Like that's so weird. Why
Agreed. Yeah.
Why can't you like just focus on yourself and I don't know, just do that? Like,
Well, I mean, why are you relying on other people for your content? That's my question,
I mean-
Buccaneer.
here's my question to kind of like relate and piggyback off that whole topic.
Yeah.
Besides the guy being just an ass, there's a lot of people on Twitter and on Twitch that I've noticed that focus way too much on other people's content and other people then focusing on their own content, and then they spin it around saying, I don't know why I'm not growing on Twitch. I don't understand. Twitch is, these guys are stealing my viewers. I can't believe they're doing this. And it's like, dude, why do you care what happens to, John Dragon Slayer on his Twitch channel and how he got banned or didn't get banned or X, Y, and Z. And then you're like, hey, I'm going to tweet about this angrily and make it more popular, make it more famous, instead of just being like, hey, you know what? It doesn't affect me directly. I'm going to keep focusing on my channel.
Right.
I know I don't do that stuff. I'm going to use that and, learn how not to be like that person. And that's how I want my channel to be like, and then just continue to grow that way. People will appreciate it. They'll see it. And, I don't know. I feel like everyone has an opinion on something instead of just
Well,
saying,
they feel entitled to having an opinion without any sort of like education or anything prior. It's just like,
exactly.
This is how I feel. And this is somehow like asserts your right to do that. Like you can disagree and have an opinion about something, but you can't force
Absolutely.
your opinion on somebody else.
Yeah, exactly. And that's one of the things that, I don't know, I feel like that just makes a huge divide. And I've noticed it on Twitch. I noticed it on Twitter, YouTube, like any form of content creation. People are very quick to talk about someone else than they are to talk about themselves,
Oh yeah.
Like I'm not gonna go and talk about, and I still try not to do it. That's why I don't get into any drama. I don't talk about any other streamers, whether they did something bad or good. Like, I mean, if they did something good, obviously I'll be like, hey man, encouraging words, because everyone deserves that, to hear that from time to time, especially
Right.
as a content creator. But if someone's doing something bad, I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah, let's keep talking about it,
Right.
or hey, this is what you could have done better. I kind of save those comments for myself on what I could have done better and what I can do to improve. And there's a lot of stuff that I know I need to improve on.
There's for me, like I struggle with that a bit just because I always try to, I don't know. It's like, I feel like there is a bigger thing that needs to be said than I talked about this with Kyle, where like, I feel like on Twitch, even though we're not like in a building working together, I consider it like more of like a workspace where like I have colleagues in the workspace, and if they're disrupting like the brand, then I need to raise my hand and be like, yo, you shouldn't do that, But there's like it's a fine line, because like in order to give that feedback, like I need to know that person, one, right?
Yeah.
And two, it's like it doesn't happen in public. It's like a DM. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But dude, Kyle talked me off a ledge recently because we had. There was some streamer, and I'm not going to say their name prior, but they essentially, their whole content is reliant on other people interacting with them in the chat, and they give away like retweets, and they talk about how like exposure from them is like the reward for participating in chat. And so what it ends up doing is it's a follow for follow community essentially.
Yeah.
And no, we're talking about oh, never mind, he's on the phone. Kyle's on the phone. He's just trying to finish up work. Yeah, so it was essentially like a follow for follow community, and I had tweeted about it, like, and the tweet was, "What do you guys think about this Twitch handle?" and or Twitter handle, and then I had like a bunch of opinions and like people had a perspective to share, but it wasn't like me going, you know, pitchfork like this person is predatory and like all this other stuff, even that's how I felt. And I even had a tweet that went out that I deleted because I was like, it's not my space, like I shouldn't be doing anything like that. My focus should be having a conversation about these things and sharing a perspective about it, just so like people are aware of it or like have to think about it instead of emotionally react. You know what I mean? Because that's what it all is. Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why I really like you and why I vibe really well with you specifically. Not that I'm trying to kiss ass at this point.
Thank you.
Because it's your show. It's like, genuinely speaking, when I have conversations with you, or I see you have conversations with people, it's never an emotional argument, or it's not an argument. It's more of a discussion, and I like that because both sides are addressed. Everyone discusses their views on the point, and you know, you come back and you say, you know what, I can see that perspective as well, and I see where you're coming from, but here's also some things that, you know, you didn't consider, and that's kind of like how you grow, because both parties grow at the end of the day. And I feel like if more people did that, there'd be, you know, in the world of content creation, I think that a lot of people end up producing better content than they already are. People are very in tuned with being emotionally attached to something, you know.
That's easy, right? You know, like stopping yourself and thinking about the situation and the ingredients of the situation and like calmly talking through it with another person. Like that doesn't happen. And I think a lot of it has to do with just the speed at which we experience things, and people don't understand the momentum of the emotion. And so what they get swept up in the feeling of it, and it feels right. And then like later on, it's like, okay, well, I got to delete that tweet and shit, you know?
Yeah. It's very easy to make emotional decisions because you're in the moment, and it feels good, and it's almost cathartic that you're like, you know, I'm letting this out, I'm doing this, but it clouds your mind and your judgment on a lot of things. So being able to like kind of like step away and have that I guess almost that wisdom to kind of be like, hold on, you know, I gotta view this from another lens, or even just come back to this another day. I feel like a lot of people need to do that, especially in the world of content creation and outside of that as well.
Well, that's why I think like it's really important to have like the people, or like network of people to have that conversation. Like Kyle's one of those guys for me. Like I messaged him. He's like, our last conversation, I was like, dude, would it be all right with you if I hit you up whenever I was thinking about tweeting, or like if I thought I had a good idea, can I just like bounce ideas out you and off of you? And he goes, fuck yeah, dude, that's amazing. I'm like, I didn't have anybody to give me feedback on the content that I was willing to put out, even if it was just something like a funny tweet, you know? And it's so like a
public relations type
100%. Yeah, Kyle could do that. And he's very powerful in that regard. You know that. He just knows how to speak with people, and he understands like he's very much in the same like wavelength. I think he thinks about things extremely analytically, and he doesn't see it for like the emotional aspects. He just like sees the avenues in which everything could go down. And so when I was like trying to construct this tweet, I was like, dude, I'll make a video. And he's like, I don't know if you should do that, dude. And then I was like, maybe you're right. And then I came back to it the next day. I was like, thank you so much for like telling me that, you know?
I mean, sometimes you like you hype yourself up. Like there's been times where I've created like skits off stream, right? And I have like this whole scene set up. I spent all day doing it, and you know, I'm like ready to publish it and test it out on stream. I'm like, man, this is gonna be cool. This is gonna be fun. I can't wait to utilize it. And then I go to bed and I wake up and I look at it again. And I'm like, oh god, I don't know what I was thinking. I don't think this is something that's actually for me to like showcase.
Well, that's the tough part, because like you're kind of in that weird spot where like it originally probably started for you, and then it gets warped by like what you think other people are going to see by it, or see it, like their perspective, you know, and then it taints it and it's not yours anymore, and then it's got to die, you know?
And you're like, you know what, let's just scrap this idea and put a pin in it. We'll come back later, and you just never come back to it. I have a lot of ideas.
Are they all in your phone?
A lot of projects. Yeah, they're just like, oh man, they never seen the light of day, because I just was like, man, it was going somewhere good. I had a great idea for it, and then it stopped. There was like one of them in particular, I don't know if you were around for this, but it was one that my brother proposed. It was the game show. Basically, every time someone would raid, we would do a quick game show, right?
That's not a bad
And we had
idea.
like yeah, it wasn't bad, but the thing is, here was what the joke was. It was a zoomed in picture of something, right? It could have
Okay.
been anything, and you had to guess what the picture was. And then if you win, I don't know, you win like a sub or something or whatever. But the
Okay.
thing is, you never win because the
What?
zoomed in picture was always a pair of butt cheeks.
Always, regardless?
Always, even if it was like a cartoon. So it looked like a part of Mario's nose zoomed in. And all right, so here are the choices: Mario's nose, this, and then like something outlandish, and then a pair of butt cheeks is thrown in there. And then people like, clearly it can't be a pair of butt cheeks. It's obviously a cartoon.
Right.
And then the guy's like, I'm gonna say it's Mario's nose because this is a video game stream, you know. And then it's like, all right, you zoom out. It's like, no, I'm sorry, sir, it was a pair of butt cheeks. And then another one was like a zoomed in picture of like a mango, or it looks like a mango, like the color wise and how
Yeah.
like the texture looks.
Yeah,
I was like,
okay.
is it a mango? Is it this? Is it a pair of butt cheeks? And then they're like, well, clearly it's a mango. You zoom out and then it's a pair of butt cheeks again. And then you're like, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, thanks for playing. And we had that skit. We did it like twice. And it was funny. But the thing is, keeping up with it and then also trying to find a way to like change the gag every time because everyone's going to now know that, hey, it's a pair of butt cheeks every time.
Yeah. We got to throw like the curveballs in there, like every 2 or 1 or whatever. Like,
yeah,
no patterns, you know, no patterns whatsoever. You just got to like do it randomly, and then nobody will ever understand. It'll just be like butt cheeks or actual content, you know?
Yeah, and then it's like, yo, it's actual content this time.
Yeah.
What? But that's one of the things we had, and it was a great idea. My brother had like, you know, like written up the concept for it, and I was like, you know, let's try to run with it and see where we can go. And I did it twice, and then I never went back to it again. Although it's one thing that I feel like if I had enough time to constantly write up like different things, I would do it, like different potential game show responses, maybe. But
That could work.
It's tough. It's tough, man.
It is tough. Well, I mean, like, you're always trying to find ways to like make the stream more entertaining for yourself, right? So it's like, what do you like? How do you do that? And so, if it enhances your experience, I found that it enhances like the rest of the experience. And when you start questioning like the Cozy Boy pranks thing was like this idea that me and my buddy James had for a long time, and we were like, okay, well, we're just gonna do it. Like, we've got 2 scenes that we want to do. We know how they are gonna be set up, and like we're just gonna do it, okay? And fuck the repercussions. You know, and what I ended up with was like a really cheesy video, but I don't know, it just like, it was exactly what I wanted, just ridiculousness, but it's like, how can you look like a douche but be doing nice things for your friends? And I like that. I don't know, I like that, like, contradictory. Yeah. Oh,
man.
Oh, we're dropping frames.
I just noticed that. I don't know if it was on my end, so I kind of
There we
like
go.
the quiet there for
Okay,
a
it's
moment.
back.
Like,
Comcast knows. They're like, you're streaming again, Steve, on Saturday, Friday? Guess what? I don't know.
You know what was really funny? Yesterday, I had you were in there for a little bit. I was doing the 12-hour.
Yeah.
And then on the title said 12-hour stream or until I crash. And at 11:50, my stream crashed for like 30 seconds because my internet went out. And I was like, great, I guess it's until I crash. I didn't even make it to the 12-hour.
Damn.
And then it came back, but we were able to get through it and the last 10 minutes. And then I found out for another like 15 minutes, I couldn't find the save point. And I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
I'm so tired.
Dude, you looked dead. I was like, wait, why is he like, it's one of 2 things. Bobo got up super early, which never happens for stream.
Yeah,
totally. Or you had been staying up for that late, and I didn't even like think the latter. I was like, oh, he woke up early like I did. That's a nice change of pace, you know, like I can watch a Bobo stream in the morning.
Yeah.
And then I just like up time, and I was like, fuck, I didn't even look at what the title said.
10 hours.
Yeah.
People were like, hey, what are you doing up? Go to sleep. I was like, yeah, I said I was gonna do a 12-hour. It's I've been trying to do, because one thing that people are very afraid to talk about, and I don't know if you care if I talk about it in regards to, I guess, streaming and
What do you mean?
like,
yeah, dude, we're talking about all this stuff, dude. Go ahead.
Sure. So there's one thing in particular that a lot of people are very afraid to touch base on, and that is being a like niche streamer, like a speedrunner, creative streamer, being known for something. Let's say like talk shows as well.
Sure.
You can reach your peak at like, let's say you're a talk show streamer and you pull in like 70, 80 people a night. Then you're saying, you know what, talk shows, my heart's not in talk shows anymore. I want to be, I want to paint Gundams on stream.
Okay.
Something completely out of left field, completely different. Now doing that, you might not carry the same viewership as before. And you essentially need to start over. And that's ideally what I've basically done, is that, I was a Resident Evil speedrunner, and that's what I was known for, and we kept doing that. And then now it's like, after 4 years, it's like, I'm getting really burned out. Yeah, I'm good, dog. I don't want to do this no more. I still love it. Like, I still love Resident Evil. I still love all the like everyone in the speedrunning community that I'm in, and I still love the fact that speedrunning is an option for me still, and I enjoy it, and I still do it on my off time. But it's a matter of, I'm not having fun on stream doing this anymore, and it shows, and I need to do something different. So I wanted to kind of dive into a little bit more variety, and I've been doing a lot more things outside of my comfort zone, like JRPGs. And there's been a significant loss of viewership, and that's one thing that people always talk about, as a content creator. It's like, is it something worth doing? Because if a television show does it, let's say you're watching The Walking Dead and it's about zombies, and then out of nowhere The Walking Dead wants to be like, you know what, we're just going to change this up and become a cop drama. The zombie virus has been cured. And then it's like, oh man, this is awkward. I guess this show isn't for me anymore. And but you're going to end up pulling a new audience again.
Yeah.
And there's going to be people who, are still there because they love the cast and they love the the actual director, but it's still not the same as it was before. And right now I've been trying to do a little bit more longer streams to kind of reach different audiences and try to I guess rebuild that community again, which is why I've been doing a lot of stuff. But it's definitely something that people don't necessarily talk about too much.
Yeah,
because I guess they're afraid of it. And I'm not trying to make it a numbers thing, but more so along the lines of a community thing, because you're basically developing and building an entirely new community all over again.
Yeah, I don't see. I always like, for me, the whole like community thing was always really strange, because it always I guess this is just like the experience. Kyle, we're talking about communities now, and
great.
Bobo just finished his story about how he was a Resident Evil speedrunner, and then now he's transitioned into a like a true variety streamer, where he's playing like more than, he's not really doing Resident Evil as much. Yeah.
One of us.
What's up, Bella?
Google gobble.
And so the consensus is, okay, there's a huge drop off in viewership. Like, what's the perspective behind that, and like, is it worth going into? And he started going into like about how it's given him well, I mean, to me, like as a viewer, it's been actually like, it's almost like I expected you to be doing that, because the way you your personality is, your personality, the way you do your scenes, like comedic stuff, it's kind of, it's not that it's all over the place, it's very much on brand with yourself, but like variety fits that very well, like it just fits the I've been using this word a lot, but it's like the tumultuous gameplay of like anything that you're doing. If you're playing, Banjo-Kazooie, or you're playing, like Crazy Taxi, like I could expect the consistency isn't the game, it's the experience of the person. And then the community thing that I wanted to touch on was, for me personally, I've had a really big negative perspective with the term community, because Trouble Truck, awesome dude, talks about this before. He talks about like an audience versus a community. So like, you have an audience that likes watching your content, but there isn't really like the community aspect to it, because you are at the center of it. You are the person who's like at the, not top of the pyramid, that's the wrong way to say it, but like, you are the catalyst in which like everybody revolves around, right? And so it's a really interesting concept, because like, for me, I never want an audience, and I certainly, like, I can't say my community, because I feel like I can't like, you belong to me, like I can't do that to people. It just like feels Like, I want you to be free, you know, like I want you to live life, and I want you to go like all over the internet and be introduced to these people, and like, and since I'm not full time, like I've pretty much accepted, for me personally, and maybe that mindset will change depending on like how many conversations I have and the people that I experience and like watch. But my perspective is that like, since I do this part time, I don't think I'll ever be as successful as somebody who can do it like more days a week than 3. And so what I need to be is just as good of a person as I possibly can for like the things that I care about, and then if possible, be a catalyst for people to like travel through and find, you know, like BoboChet or PostCubicleKyle, or like my friends who can do that. You know,
just nailed that. That's literally what I try to do. Like I do the same thing. I can't stream all the time. I can't do every single day. Like, but I can make a good tweet and I can talk about my friends. Like, so let's just excel at that. You know.
Yeah.
Hey,
also, I'm
one
so
thing
sorry
that I want to bring up too is I know you mentioned the concept of audience and communities, and we're throwing a wrench in the machine here, but I disagree. I actually I don't
talk about it.
I don't want to call them. I don't want to call the people that I interact with an audience. Yeah, sure, it's, you know, because the way you see it, if you're a musician, right, or a stand-up comic, or you're doing theater, the people that are watching silently, that's your audience, right? There's no interaction there. They're just watching.
Yeah, I see what you
The
mean.
community, in the sense, I never say my community, and I'm one of those content creators, and people talk about this all the time. I'm one of those content creators that say we, and I don't say like, hey, I never say I. And I always say, hey, we'll be back here again at this time, even though people are like, hey, I'm not streaming. Why you keep saying we? I don't like when content creators say that. But
do people say that though? They don't. I don't think
we're here.
There's people who said it on Twitter before, and they spoke about
it.
But my thing is,
I'd make fun of
like,
those people.
Yeah, agreed. Because I use we as well. Like these are the things we're doing together. We're spending time together, right?
Yeah.
And that's like, I mean, I don't know. That's the part of content creation that a lot of people just overlook. There's a lot of gray area in terms of explaining this stuff, but when you got 240 characters on Twitter, like, I mean, we've talked about this on the show. Yeah, you can't elaborate that much, and on top of that, you're also, what's gonna get better like reaction, saying bad shit about like the people who say we, or saying like a 4-part tweet that explains how exactly you feel, you know what I mean?
I would like to talk to you about the nuance of perspective and how it relates to me using me rather than I.
Right.
As an academic, I feel.
Yeah, exactly.
And then here's a link to several different research sites.
Yeah.
Right.
Here's a 27-page theoretical PhD study regarding the intricacies of people pronouncing I or myself. Help you understand the further baseline of where we are coming from when saying the word I as opposed to we.
What's with A?
But I mean, it's really a thing that I am friends with a lot of people in my community, you know, or rather our community, because Konky's a part of it. Callback. I know we just finished saying I and we. It's very easy. It's very easy to say
it's
me.
Getting high on we, dude.
We, because you know it's very right. We're getting high on the we, but it's very easy to say it. And the thing is, I'm human. I say things very quickly, and sometimes I say different things, and I don't know what I'm saying 90% of the time. But you know, it's our community. You know, Konky's a part of it. Kyle's a part of it. It's a we. It's never just an I or a my. Disregard what I said earlier. But like, I'm friends with a lot of people in there, and the thing is, I also have things in chat that help, you know, cause certain events to happen on the stream. Like, we have animations that people can trigger per moment. Like, I have, and I'm not flexing here, I promise I'm not trying to flex here.
Yeah, okay.
We have a moment when Final Fantasy VII that has a 64,000 view clip because somebody decided to play an animation at that exact time. And it was a viewer in chat. That wasn't me.
But it wasn't even just like, this is funny. It's, they knew the timing, like down to they love the game, that it just like fit the moment. It's there's a reason that like that clip resonates with 66,000 people or plus or whatever, and people rewatch it, you know?
Yeah, like how can an audience do that? You know?
True.
I agree with that.
Like that's my thing, is that the only way they can do that is if you're a part of the stream, and
Right.
the only way you can be a part of the stream is being a part of that community. So the stream is what it is, and the way my stream is the way it is because the community makes it what it is.
Right.
Without it, it's just me, but it's supposed to be we, and that's ultimately a lot of communities on Twitch. And some people lose sight of it, and there's our people who are very I and me,
Right.
and they don't interact with anyone in the community. And you know, if that's how you want to go, that's okay. You know, everyone has the right to host their stream the way they want to host it. There is no right or wrong answer.
Right.
But I disagree calling them an audience.
Yeah, no, I was
perspective.
It wasn't even like, well, I guess the way I was talking about it is like they're I guess I was speaking on the more what's the word, like entitled or like just getting started, like the people who say my like community, in the sense that like, oh, welcome to the community, join us in the Discord. Like if there's nothing present, it's more of like, you know what I mean? I don't know how to explain it. It's like that you're using a word because you were wishfully putting it out there as opposed to actually like working and making it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Mm.
Kyle, what were you about to say? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
I have a similar opinion to Bobo. It is a bit different. I find that if I agree with the aspect that like it's not an audience and calling them a community is wrong. I don't agree with that. I think because I feel very much in the same way that the stream is created by me as well as the people watching it and the people I'm talking with, because the conversation, that's the content for my stream. A lot of my stream is just talking and having thoughts and just kind of going through a stream of consciousness, and that stream of consciousness is altered by the people that give me ideas and the conversations I have with the people that are there with me, and the things that happen on stream and the things that those people tell me to do, and the way I respect, like it's like all one big interactive experience that I pressed the start button and I created it, but like it wouldn't be a community if it was just me playing video games. It's a community because there's people that show up to where I happen to play video games. It's like I find that like you don't have to, you know, just because it's something I created, therefore it's an audience. I don't agree with that immediate the conclusion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it. Yeah.
By the way, apologies for going gone for like 20 minutes.
Hey, no, you're good, man. I mean,
ironically, this conversation was about work-life balance.
I know, and
I have a job that requires a lot of my time.
and this kind of, I mean, you came in at the perfect time too, because we're talking about you know, relationships, work-life balance, and the thing is that I'm genuinely friends with people in my community.
Same.
You know, and like even someone that I met in my community is also my significant other, you know, and that's something that blows people's mind as well.
Right.
Who's that?
Japamber?
Yeah. Who's that? I don't see her anywhere.
Oh yeah. She's totally not here, and I'm not trying to say it just because she walked in. But it's something that you don't expect, you know. Like I didn't expect like Twitch. I don't think is a dating site, although a lot of people jokingly say that it's a dating site.
It's a meet people site.
It's a meet people site, and you know, I just happen to, you know, through mutual viewers and mutual friends of the channel, I was able to meet, you know, Jappa, and that's basically how it happened. We became friends. We shared similar interests, and then out of nowhere, you know, we were both going to TwitchCon, and we were gonna hang out, and I'm gonna ask her out on a date. She said,
Trying
"Yeah."
to get sushi. Trying to get
Hell yeah.
We went to Panda. My first time at
Panda Express?
Yeah.
Do you remember what you got?
I don't remember what I got,
What
but I
did
got
Jappa
an allergic
get?
reaction on my hands though. So
That's a good first date.
It hacked me up a little bit. I know.
I'm not a fan of Panda Express. I'm not a fan of these millennial food joints. I'm gonna be straight up with you guys.
Dude, Panda Express isn't millennial food, is it?
Yes, it
Oh, it was
fucking
PF
is.
No,
Oh
there's
my
no
God.
avocado there
If-
at all. There's no avocado.
You know what I'm saying.
Well,
I'm talking
my
about the
bad.
you get in the line and then you say I want this with the. It's like fucking Subway but expensive. Like that's the millennial food, and I don't.
Well,
Really?
I'm already under fire right now. I'm in the hot seat. It was
Yeah. It was P.F. Chang's.
Yeah, I clearly don't remember the day very well.
How could you? Okay, here's another thing too. P.F. Chang's is like
a
leagues.
sit-down restaurant.
Yeah, it's like leagues better in terms of a fucking restaurant.
In my defense, I am from New York, and I grew up in the South Bronx where we didn't have P.F. Chang's or Panda Express. We had mom and pop China shops that were like Lucky Dragon and like
There you
Happy
go.
Star, and we would go there, and that's it. They're family owned.
But you confuse the shit where you're like in line and you're like, yes, you have to wait a minute because the orange chicken's gonna be done in like a few minutes, and we'll bring out a fresh tray. But like PF Chang's is like fucking
A sit-down
artisanal Chinese
restaurant?
food. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Like a millennial food.
yeah, I mean, but
I hate it. I hate it.
That's so ridiculous.
I don't remember what I got, but I remember that when we sat down there and we were eating, we met 2 other streamers who were also
Were they on their
we
first
thought-
date too?
No, they were they're married.
Oh,
But
wow.
They met also
They
on
thought it was
Twitch.
Panda Express as well.
They thought, I was like, yo, what are the odds? We thought this
They're
was
trying to
Panda
get-
Express.
I was looking for a sit-down convenient meal to just grab and go, but I ended up with a sit-down restaurant. Man, I'm pissed.
Yeah, and then I was too embarrassed to get up, so I'm stuck here now. But they were married and they've been together for a while, and they were talking to us, and they were like, oh hey, we're also streamers, we're here for the convention, and we kind of were able to like
That's
talk
cool.
about that. And they said they met online gaming, and they were long distance for a while, and they made it work, and they are married with kids.
That's pretty
And
cool.
That is really cool.
like
Kids are
seeing
streaming.
that,
Kids are starting to be esports pros. You know,
I don't even know if they
dreams
are.
come true.
I know that he does a lot of esports heavy content, and she plays a lot of competitive poker.
Wow.
So
Oh,
it's
wow.
cool.
That's pretty
yeah.
cool. That's pretty
Yeah.
neat.
It's pretty dope what they do. But I saw them, and I was thinking about it. I was like, man, like trying to balance work, stream, and then also like a long distance relationship at the time. It was really tough.
Streaming
but,
out of a closet? Yeah.
Yeah, I was streaming in a closet and whatnot, but
Oh,
Eventually-
That was a
I
meme
remember
for
that.
a while.
now me and Jappa live together, and we're happy.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah.
That is fucking cool. But like, well, I guess that's like a really serious. That's a really serious online relationship that happened from just doing what you've been doing on stream,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, that's pretty neat.
It's something that I didn't expect, and I didn't go in with the mindset for.
Yeah, you weren't like, I'm
um,
gonna start streaming if I'm a dream girl.
I was like that wasn't like my intent,
Yeah.
I went there just to kind of like make friends, hang out with people, and just be a weirdo online, because I mean that's basically what I did back in like the PlayStation 2 online days and the 360 days, where I would just go into like party chats and just kind of like just joke around and
Yeah.
play for hours. And I was like technically already doing that before I even
Unfortunately.
started streaming.
Was this like? I hate to make this such a fuck. I hate to joke about this, but I had to. I'm sorry.
I go
Is
for it.
is this like before? Was this before all of us realized that homophobic slurs aren't okay, or is it after that? Or is it after?
Well, I wasn't like that, because I was never like that, because I had a lot of friends who were a part of the
course.
LGBT community, and
You're
even
cultured.
my
You were
cousin as well.
Educated.
Huh?
You were
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Well, that's
I
what.
was
Honestly,
never-
it's just
I was never like
exposure and
that.
experience to it.
Yeah.
Like that's really what
Yeah.
it is. Like I didn't have a whole lot of friends like that, but the community, the
Yeah, that's
LGBTQ. My camera?
No, mind. I'm sorry. Don't worry. You do you, man. I'm just
All right.
fiddling.
I was like, wait, what? And then I started adjusting my body instead of actually reaching for my camera.
Okay.
Like this will fix it, yeah. Okay, so like online relationships for the community, that's how you guys got started, or that's how you and Japamber got started. But like,
Mhm.
so these people you play games with and stuff, how long have you been like how many can you like tell us about the relationships that you have for friends and Jappas? Like
Yeah.
I want to know more about like how that happened, because for me, like I'll share my experience afterward, but it's just I did not expect, like I feel like I'm a late bloomer with the whole
Mhm.
getting to know people online and playing games with them and then meeting them in person. Like I'm
Interesting.
really late to that game. So
Yeah.
I mean, most of my friends, like they were all physically in proximity with me. I didn't really have like online friends until the past like 2 years or so, 2-3 years.
Hmm. I mean, oh, you want to go first?
No, go for it, man. You guys are in the middle of a conversation. Don't mind me.
Oh,
I'm
you're good.
sorry. I've made like friends with a lot of people that I play games with on Twitch, off stream, and sometimes on stream depending on like the situation. But there's some people like I'll name like Mr. Maximus, who
Right,
wasn't a
he's great.
streamer beforehand. He was just a viewer for a long time, and I became friends with him, and we started just playing games. We hung out with him and another friend of mine called Zoom PC, and another guy named Undead Marksman, and we would just kind of just hang out off stream and just crack jokes in Discord, and that was one of the things that happened for a long time before Max even became a streamer and became like a speedrunner. Out of nowhere, I was telling him, dude, you should just do like speedruns of X game, and it was Booger Man. And he's like, nah, I don't think I could do it. Nah, I don't think I could do it. For a long time, he was like, I don't think I could do it. And then there he was. He started streaming it, and then I remember him on his laptop with his grill in the background, on his couch speedrunning Booger Man, and him like, yo, this is my first stream, and I was in there talking with him for a while, and then now the guy's grown to be, his own content creator. He's there knowing what he's got to do, and it all started because of a friendship,
Yeah.
And I think that online friendships, especially people you meet within the community, it leaves room for a lot of people to grow, and that's where people that or friends that you make there, they're doing things that you would never expect they would do. Kind of like, hey, now I'm doing art on stream, I'm doing painting, or I'm coming out of my shell. Normally I was a quiet person, now I'm here and I'm outspoken because we became friends and you inspired me to do streaming or doing this and whatnot. And I think that's like a really beautiful thing.
Agreed. Yeah, there's translatable skills from this whole thing. Like presentation skills are huge, and like being able to talk with a bunch of people in a room. Like I've done that like so many times at work, and I'm just like, this is not any different than like a talk show night or, I don't know, fucking just playing games with a bunch of people or like a party. Like, why can't I just say hello? Like, I can't acknowledge you because you're physically next to me. You know what I mean? Like that used to be my old mentality.
That's why TwitchCon is like such a crazy experience. You've been to TwitchCon, right, Konky?
Yeah, my first time was last year, and I was really worried about it because I was like, there's just gonna be a bunch of egotistical dickheads here, No,
like, dude. It's like every time somebody asks me about TwitchCon, I say, imagine that like it's the most personable, nice people that you've ever had a most conversation with that can have a conversation with you about anything, be interested in everything, and they'll remember your name. and then you put them all in the same room, give them unlimited alcohol, and then you put a great DJ in there. That's TwitchCon. Like that's
how me and Kyle had an interaction.
Are we wait the time to tell the story? Is that how it goes?
Yeah, definitely, 100%.
Do you want to start it off?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, Kyle.
Like, long story short, I mean, like, there's other details, but like, the importance is like, we were at the Discord party, right? Was that what it was?
It was the Discord party,
right? And like, Bobo and I had known of each other for the longest time. I guess this is perfect because like we're talking about online relationships. Bobo and I have known of each other for a long time. We had worked on charity stuff together, but we like never really had like friendship
like the
conversations
and whatnot.
Yeah, we never really like had like friendship, like one-on-one time or whatever, because it's that's how it works. But we ended up being with each other at the Discord party for quite some time. I think we were in line together getting drinks.
Yeah.
Or I said hi, or you said hi, or we just started talking.
We both entered the Discord party at the same time. We were waiting in line.
That's what it was.
And then I saw you because I think you were getting the bag. Yeah, we were getting before we even had drinks. We saw the. I think you got the little. Well, I got the bag.
With the pillow.
Yeah, with the pillow.
Over there, I have the pillow.
Yeah. And then I even like stuffed a whole bunch of the pop rocks that they had out on the table in that bag too.
Oh, I didn't take any candy.
Yeah, I took a lot of candy. I was like, hey, is this free? Like, yeah, take as much as you want. I was like, all right.
I'll take it. I am a partner in your heart.
But,
you guys are cute.
I met Kyle that way, and then I was waiting online. I know he was walking, and I kept running into Kyle.
Yeah, we just kept running into each other.
After a couple of drinks.
Yes, couple.
He had a gin and tonic.
Gin and tonic, which was the signature drink at my wedding, by the way.
Oh, nice.
My signature drink at my wedding was the gin and tonic. Yes.
I was rocking the rum and coke because that's just the college frat boy is just rum and coke.
Were you at the
Who doesn't? If you don't like rum and coke, I don't know, man. Rum and coke's pretty easy.
I don't like rum and coke.
Really?
Well, that's because you got the fancy gin and tonic. That's like the Mad Men. What was
I'm not drinking
Donald Draper drink.
I'm not really happy.
Now,
yeah, I guess. I mean, you're talking about the flavor palette difference, I guess, is a big one. For
Yeah.
I agree, it is sweet. I'll have like, if I have a rum and coke, it'll be like one. And I'll be like, that was a nice treat, and then I'll go back to like a different thing. I don't know. I'm weird about it.
I don't know if Kyle, if you were there for that, but did you know I got cut off at the Discord party and it was an open bar?
Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
We were bitching about it together. I was like, I'm gonna go get you one. Then I went and I got you one. Like I went and I got you a drink.
I was so mad because it was my fault because I went up and
Yeah,
this
'cause you
this
opened
one
your mouth.
bartenders. Huh?
You opened your mouth is what happened.
Yeah, I told him, I was like, I went up to the lady, I was like, yeah, this guy cut me off. I just want to get a rum and coke. He was like, if he cut you off, what do you think I'm gonna get?
Yeah, dumbass. You were perfectly fine. I mean, I was drinking too, so I don't really remember if I was or not. But you were completely fine. Like
Yeah.
I don't remember any issues with that.
I think it's because I started asking for straight up rum and then I finished
Yeah,
the bottle.
that's where you
And
went
I was
wrong.
like, yeah, just skip on the coke. Keep it for somebody else. Just give me straight up rum. And I was like,
Yeah.
all right.
I remember drinking all those gin and tonics and being like, I like gin and tonics. That was like the night that I decided that gin and tonics were my favorite drink.
That's super
man.
funny.
I remember being like on such a social high that night too. Like I talked to so many people. That was such a crazy night.
That's
It
awesome.
was. I met a lot of friends there that
Yeah.
that I have only interacted with online, and I thought it was really cool, but also very embarrassing because I was drunk.
Yeah, I don't know. You didn't seem that drunk to me. You seemed like you were all having a good time. That's all it really seemed like. It didn't seem like you were drunk or at all sloppy.
But both,
I
if
always-
both of you were like, I don't know. All I'm imagining is that scene where like you guys are having a really beautiful conversation, but like from your perspective, and then Jappa's like watching you guys talk. And you're like, I fucking love you, man. You're so
Yeah.
fucking cool.
That's
That's
pretty
my
accurate,
fear.
actually. That's
Oh.
pretty accurate. That's what we're like when we enter these other streams. It's just like I show up and he's just like, "Fucking Postcubicle, I love you, man." Like,
And pukes a little on his shoulder. We'll forget about it. It's all right. I love you. You're
Yeah.
great. That's my fear is that, like I'm very coherent, and I know, like, Kyle, when I was talking to him, he was very like coherent and talking to me, and he was fine. But the
Mhm.
thing is, what if
I didn't
like
get cut
that's
off.
just
Yeah, I didn't get cut off.
that's crazy. That's crazy. But my thing that messes with me is that like what if like people looking in are like saying like, man, this guy's really drunk.
I don't think
Like
that was the case
but
at
in
all,
my
dude.
mind, I was like, I'm calm
Like
and
Purple or
collected.
Gus would have told us if that was the case. Like we have people taking care of us. Like we're not stupid.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
got good
I-
friends. They'll
Yeah.
I
tell
feel
you.
like everyone I was hanging out with had drinks in them at some point, so I
Yeah.
could have just
You-
been like, yeah, you're great, you're fine. And I was like, all right.
But you were at the partner party too, right? You were at
With the
par-
church one?
Yeah, the
The one
wait
that-
in
yeah.
line to walk away with 4 drinks because you're not getting another drink for the rest of the night party.
Yeah.
Oh,
Did you
damn.
go to that? Did you go to that? Did you happen to make it to the partner party?
No,
last year?
no, not me. I didn't even get to the
was shit
Discord
show.
party. It was
Oh my god, both were.
Yeah.
Discord party was great.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Think about if we could have met there, dude. Like this could have been like, who knows?
well,
This could have
knowing
been episode
knowing how
37
like
of BoboChet
knowing how
Kyle
the universe
Talk Show.
knowing how the universe works. Like if I was in proximity of wherever you were, we
Right.
would have bumped into each other. Because like I don't
we
know.
probably
That's
would have had a distasteful interaction where we misunderstood each other and we never would have ended up being friends.
maybe
I
that's
guarantee
possible.
would have happened. Yeah.
I don't know,
think
dude.
was-
I don't have like a. I don't have like a.
Con.
I don't
No, I
have.
don't either.
I don't have like a. I don't have a judgment passed on like anybody unless they like come at me with shit, and I'm like, wait, what's
No,
going
here's
on?
what would happen. You'd bump into my shoulder, all right, which would send my drink flying toward your face. Okay, me having a conversation with my friend just said something to me that I'm not necessarily happy about. So I respond with, "Hey, fuck you, buddy," and you think I'm having a conversation with you, but meanwhile I'm telling my friend, right? And then that's it. It's over, right? I walk away. You get upset about it. You forgive me, but you don't interact with friendship later when you meet me on Twitter because of that bad, now unnecessary and negative bias that you have against me.
Well, I don't know if that. Okay, just to tell you like how my my behavior and like how that would work is I would bump into you, you would spill your drink on me, and I would profusely apologize repeatedly about how I bumped into you and I didn't
Right.
mean to spill your drink and let me get you another one. Or I barf
he's
all
like-
over myself from the anxiety and pass out in front.
He's like drenched in like gin and tonic all over
Yeah.
his face, like his mustache is.
He's got like a
sorry.
lime stuck to
Yeah.
the side of his cheek.
his eyes are burning because alcohol's in his eyes.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm so sorry.
I'm
gonna
not
get you another
crying.
one."
I'm not crying. You know, like that's
yeah.
yeah. Well, that's
I
cool.
believe I met both of you guys at TwitchCon too, in person.
I
Mhm.
did not. I've never met Mr. Dong over here.
Yeah, not me,
Yeah.
but well, I didn't really get acquainted with Kyle until like Twitter, and I was like, he's fucking cool. He's
Not not a good way to know me though.
I see.
It's
I don't
like-
know. I think it's a good way.
Bobo knew me before it happened. Like it was different. It was different.
It was a different time back
It was a
then.
different
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
Okay.
I talked about that last time we were on the podcast. How like I've like it took me forever to like find a voice that like resonated with my following.
Yeah.
And once I did, it like changed everything for me, into like an unhealthy matter.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I feel like if you can do whatever it is that you do
I've
to
balanced
like
out.
be fun, have fun, but have it in a way that like personifies you in the best way you can do it, then by all means, fucking do it. And like that was your Twitter was the main like gateway for me to get into stream, and I was like, this guy's fucking chill. Like I'm
That's funny.
all about it.
It's like 90. There's like a 1% that actually crosses over from Twitter into Twitch, and you're part of it.
Yeah.
You are the 1%.
I have a question
yeah.
for you guys. Because you guys are talking about I guess your Twitter personality, talking about Twitch and content creation. What's your take on characters? People having like personas and being
Like the Dr. Disrespects.
kind of like the Dr. Disrespects, or like there's another guy, I think the one Manny, he's a talking dog, or Scribbly, who's
Scribbly.
talking
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
I was gonna say
Like-
Scribbly. Yeah.
business,
or like,
another
like
one, the talking
Benefits.
SNES.
Uh-huh.
Benefits, yeah.
Oh, I love that shit.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think
I think
those are all in
it's
the same
entirely
range.
it's relative. It has, or not relative. It matters. The context matters.
right.
So like
Mm.
Dr. Disrespect, I don't like that. I don't like that
Mm.
character. I don't find that to be funny.
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah.
Well, I got a question
other
for you.
shit, I'll for it.
For Dr. Disrespect, and I find this is a very common thing. I feel like I may have asked you this question when we talked before, but is it because those behaviors that he exhibits and does were things that you used to do and you do not like them, so you no longer do them?
So that's part of it. I find that
Really?
that's a fair question.
Literally,
because,
he's like for me,
he's a personification of childish gaming culture.
right? Exactly.
But
Yeah.
but childish gaming culture is different than being a insensitive prick. Like which
Yeah.
he falls into that category more often than the former, in my
But that's
opinion.
what I'm saying is like that's what you would be if you didn't change.
I
Like
don't
if you
know. But I feel like I can go online and I can make a good satirical childish gaming culture joke. I could do that. I feel like if you give me enough time I could craft that, and it wouldn't hurt anyone's feelings. It would just be funny. Like
right.
I don't find Dr. Disrespect funny. He's just
Well, I mean, he's not even like when I say funny, like the funny
Yeah.
part of it comes from just the extreme abnormality of a grown ass man with
yeah,
a
I
mustache
guess.
who's 16 years old.
guess.
You know what I mean? Like he's that
Yeah,
guy
but then
that
again, like,
messages
you're a grown ass man with a mustache who acts like you're 16 years old.
right.
Is that funny? Like I guess
Not
that's
to
the question.
you, because like that's the worst version of yourself. That's the worst version of me too. Is that like 16-year-old KonkyTalks 64, where I'm like, I don't ever want to be that person again.
Right.
Like maybe it happens, like there's a lapse in judgment because it's still there swimming around in my brain somewhere. But to see it personified in a grown ass
Right.
man,
Yeah,
it
sorry to
like
not
hurts
think
me.
about something else. That wasn't what the question was about, but
Oh no, you're fine.
anyway.
No, this
so-
is part of the conversation, right? It's like, what do you think about characters? So that's one character. Like I don't know. I think of like have you guys ever heard of Cardboard Cowboy?
I love
Yeah.
Cardboard Cowboy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's cool.
His production quality is pretty solid.
Yeah,
He's good. Yeah.
yeah, he's really
The thing
good.
is, though, his is like a shtick with visuals. Does he really? Is he like a character though? Like he's not saying yeehaw and shit on Twitter.
Well, I think he used to be. I think like maybe when he started out, he
Okay.
probably was like trying to embrace the whole thing, but then it became an extension of himself, where it's just him being a
Mhm.
comedian,
right.
but with the body and stuff of props. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Yeah. And he does
Yeah,
it
I
to
like-
enhance
I like his-
conversation. It's not just like a gimmick,
Right. I like his thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like there's a difference when like talking for like characters and people who go in with like personas. I feel like there's like a difference between people who have like an over exaggerated
Yeah, there you go.
version of themselves because it's still yourself, and then being completely different, like like business is a talking SNES, and like scribbly,
Benefits.
like a or
Yeah.
benefits. It's they have
Talking
these characters that are like completely different from themselves as well. I think for me personally, I don't know. I've go down a very like weird line where I feel like I'm part character and then part also like myself.
Sure.
I don't
yeah.
know how to explain it.
Well, you're
'cause
talking about
obviously-
tapping into the meme vein.
Yeah. I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, because there's
I mean,
sometimes where you're like
You're
not
just being
even
silly, right? You're being
you're
a
just being
comedian.
silly. Yeah.
You're being a comedian.
like this is me in my normal state. Like I would say like I have two modes. I have Joe and then I have BoboChet, and then this is how I normally people, and I'm not like, you know, what up guys, and then yeah, and then,
Hey, what's going on?
I'm not doing all that craziness, you know,
Yeah.
like
Right, but to interrupt quickly, but like there's a difference between this and like being a one-man show. Being a one-man show, I'm about I'm gonna like
Yeah.
I have a reason to do all of those things. But whenever I'm with you
Yeah.
guys, like we're having a conversation.
Right.
I just kind of see all of these toys as just a way to fill the void. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
it's not
mm,
I don't know how
Enhance
to
the
explain
experience between
Right.
you and the people that are watching. It's not like
mm.
it's not like it's not a gimmick or whatever. It's technology that lets you enhance the experience that you're providing
Right.
for the people who are like watching. That's it.
I kind of just see all of this stuff as tools. Like and
Yeah.
then you just use your own comedic skill to play off of all of those things.
Right.
Yeah, it's kind of like interpretive dance. You're doing something to explain something, or like elaborate on like an emotion, or feeling, or a moment.
Right.
So you have all these weird effects to kind of elaborate on something that's happening to make it over the top. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I personally think I fall like right on that line between character and then over exaggerated version of myself.
Yeah. But that's normal.
Yeah. I see. What's funny is like I probably feel like I have more of a personality on Twitter than I do in my stream or like interviews and such, or
Mhm.
even in person. Because I'm a very like happy, jokey kind of person. Like I'm always cracking jokes and stuff. I'm always trying to like find the comedy in a situation. But on Twitter, like I find like one, it's about you want to be successful with your tweets, right? That's like I'm gonna be self-aware about the fact that I care about that. And two, like that the only way to do that is to kind of be opinionated and have a straightforward way of saying things. And because of that, I come across a dick a lot. And and it's unfortunate because I can be funny on there, but in order to be funny, I have to say it a specific way, and that kind of gives people the wrong idea of my personality, I feel. But if I was that way on stream, I think people would understand that it's more of a character or more of a
Satire.
a contents kind of thing. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Well, you
satire.
have the
That's
context of the
exactly. It's all
conversation,
satire.
right?
Exactly. Yeah.
It's kind of like how we were. I know before we were on the show, we were talking about The Office and like Michael Scott being a character, and the things he says are very outlandish, but he's supposed to be like a stupid, silly, wacky, oblivious character.
Right.
But it's like a highbrow thing, you know, because
Right.
it's like, man, he's saying these outlandish things, but look at the person who's saying it.
Right, but it's not
So
actually
it's-
saying those outlandish things.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a difference than having like saying that and being satire, and then also having shock culture where it's like people will say this just to
That sounds
get
like
a
Twitter.
rise and have.
That sounds
It
like
is
Twitter.
Twitter. Yeah.
That sounds
Yeah, it's
exactly like
exactly
Twitter.
Twitter.
The Office is Twitter. We figured it out.
Yeah.
We cracked the code, everybody.
Yeah, we
Before
figured
it
it
was
out.
Twitter.
Go
Yeah.
home. Yeah.
It goes all back to the Office episodes.
Yeah. Michael Scott is just fucking Keemstar.
Oh,
That's
God.
fine, basically.
Jesus. Yeah.
But I guess. Mhm.
I was just gonna say like the character thing to me has always been really interesting because like I feel like it's really reliant on like the state of the person who's handling it, right? So they
Yeah.
can go more than one direction, especially if you're a character. But the hard part is like how do you make something, because the character is technically like
Oh,
a separate thing
yeah.
from yourself, right? So how do
Yeah.
you make an extension of yourself resonate with an audience or people watching or a
You have
community?
to have an idea of how people are going to perceive things.
Right.
Like that. Being a comedian is about understanding why what you said is funny. That's like number one, right? And a lot. Yeah. Sorry, I had a bigger point, but I forget what it is. Please continue.
You're okay.
You're
It's
saying
kind of like it's kind of like how actors are, you know, like
Yeah.
actors
Yeah.
know how to separate themselves from separate themselves from the actual, I guess, person they're playing. And normally these actors in like these movies play like multiple different roles, you know.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
Will Smith, for example, you know, he went from being Fresh Prince, being the, you know, the funky, silly, you know,
right.
cousin, brother, whatever he was. I forget what he was in the family. And then going to like The Pursuit of Happiness, where he's like a father figure and it's serious and he's not, you know, making these jokes, you know? So it's kind of like you try to separate these two people. They're both the same person, but they have that character not as an extension of them, but more so as like a I'm trying to find the word for it. Help me out if you can.
They kind of personify a whole different being. If you ask
Yeah,
me.
they have like
Yeah.
it's not an extension. It's just like an entirely different
Right.
I guess, individual and
It's a
different.
portrayal of their own appearance. It's very
yeah.
yeah. It's interesting.
And I feel like that's something that I guess people on Twitch might struggle with a little bit because we're not professional actors. I mean, maybe some of us are. I don't know what you guys. I did do acting in college a little bit.
I can't
A little
act.
bit of acting in college. So that was it.
I mean, it's really just being able to. Acting can be a lot of things, but being a comedian's acting, you could argue.
Agreed.
I don't know.
I agree.
It's a form of it. I agree.
Yeah.
It's about being able to tell, it's all monologues, it's about being able to convey the story and also the emotion at the right time,
God damn it,
it's all timing.
Yeah. Well, I feel like I don't know. There's a lot of there's a lot of variables in that aspect, like of the character thing. And I know when I first started streaming, like a lot of the arguments I would have with my wife or then girlfriend was that you are a different person when you are online than when you are with me, and that bothers me. And I was like, shit, I really gotta like really think about this, because what I think happens, and this is just because you're not when I was streaming, it wasn't even being a character, right? It was like I'm going to stream and play games and try to be funny and like meme and like that sort of thing. And the hardest part about that was like, okay, well, now I'm in a different mode, and it's definitely like a mode, and now like the line between who I am as a person and stream is now like blurred entirely, where I have this idea of like, where how I'd like to speak and talk and meme and like the talk show's a different version of that, right? When I'm playing games and doing shotgun winks at people and fucking how neat is that, and like all the things that are happening, it's just me trying to entertain people. But when I'm having a conversation, it's like, okay, well, we could do that, we could be a little bit silly, but like,
right.
I'll do it through conversation because I have two other people that I'm like talking with. I don't know.
So you made me think of this. When I first started streaming, I was living in a different place, and my girlfriend at the time would come over, and the current wife, she would sit there and like I would stream for a couple hours, and like I remember like it was like months and months later, but like we talked about it, and she would always say like it was pretty clear when I first started streaming that like it wasn't me that was streaming when I first started, and it really took me a long time to like fall into what I am when I stream. You know what I mean? Like that version. There's Kyle, and then there's Kyle when he's streaming, and that kind of like it took me a really long time to fall into that. And I find now that I've been doing this for so long that I feel like I've hit like a final form, so to speak.
Yeah.
Of like where I feel comfortable, because I've been doing this for a very long time, and to be like completely honest, I haven't had like I haven't had the amount of success that like peers have had, or that but I've had my own version of success, and I'm happy with it. But in order for me to be able to maintain streaming for so often, I have to be like as toned back as possible. You know what I mean? Like I can't be the super hypey version of the streamer anymore. I'm very much more reserved than I used to be. I talk about things in a much different way. I handle situations differently. Like it's not that I've like chilled out, but I've matured. I've changed. Me as a streamer has matured alongside me as a person, and I find that that's something that happens with all streamers.
Yeah.
I keep getting the because I guess going back also to relationships with like people within the community, a lot of people that I play games with and I'll go into voice chat with off stream, they're like, you sound like a different person. Or even if I'm like when Jappa asks me to come on her stream and play games, she's like, is that Bobo? He just sounds just really chill, but then on stream I'm like anti-chill. It's like he's like a different dude. And
oh my god, that's so funny you say that. I don't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry.
I thought you were gonna say like.
I was waiting. I was like, "Go on, Kyle."
I was waiting for that.
I interrupted you, and I feel bad about it. So then I got self-conscious and was like, "Oh shit, he's got."
No, always interrupt. I wanted to hear what you had to say about it.
Ask Psych in chat anytime, like I'm streaming or whatever. I'll be like, "Yeah, thanks for hanging out, guys. I'll catch you later. Good night." I'll throw my screen up, whatever, and then I'll call like, "Boom, hey Kyle, what's up?" Hey, what's up, Psych? How you doing?
Microphone into your chin.
You just like sinking.
I'm chilled out, like I'm not doing anything. Like, what are you doing, Kyle? I'm just leveling over in Nashville. Just get on my mountain, fly over to Starbucks. Like, I'm fucking done. I'm tired. Whatever.
Oh, you're good, dude.
I guess I have those two modes where it's like, and it hasn't changed since I've been a streamer. It's like I'm BoboChet one mode, and then I'm just Joe the other mode. And there's been times where people in real life have been very cautious, because I think it was brought up as well that it's kind of like disturbing that he's a different person on stream, but then in person when I meet him, he's like, wait, hold on. So it kind of gives off like a deceiving like factor, which I'm not trying to be, but it comes off that way. It's just,
well, I don't.
I'm sorry, guys.
Sorry, no, well, I was gonna say like the dilemma, or the, what is it, the duality of BoboChet, the Bobo and the Chet, or whatever you want to say. Like the way I see it is that I know that like for anybody to have the expectation that you are going to be that person that we see streaming all the time.
24/7 bouncing off the walls.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my
Fuck,
God,
that's
you
fucking
imagine?
ridiculous. Like, that's crazy.
Hey, what's up, Bobo?
Nobody can
My name's
function
Kyle.
like that. Yeah.
Hey, what's up, Kyle? How you doing? Woo! Welcome into the Fellowship of the Memes. And he just sprints like back and forth across whatever. Like, like,
Right.
Come on, dude.
Like, if you were that person, it would
Like,
be like,
no.
why are you trying to do that? What are you doing? Hey, like, I don't know. It would confuse me. Like,
I feel
and when
like
I met you in person, I was like a little bit. It was more like a starstruck, because I was like, we've had conversations before, like talk a little bit, and it was like, I was like, dude, you have legs, you know?
Yeah, like, I wasn't expecting you had actual like feet. That's crazy.
Crazy, man. Everybody's got feet here.
I'm really looking forward to TwitchCon this year, because it's gonna be like, hey, what's your name? Oh, I'm so and so. What's your name? Oh, I'm Kyle, a PostCubicleKyle. Oh, I know you from Twitter. Like, great.
Maybe, yeah.
And then I'll have like a conversation with them, and they're gonna be like, oh, you're so much nicer than you are on Twitter. It's like, yeah. It's like, I can't
with
wait.
a gin and tonic in hand.
Yeah,
kind of
TwitchCon 2019. Wow, I know you from Twitter.
Like, it's 10 in the morning. Why do you have a gin and tonic in your...
You know?
10 in the morning. He just always has it.
Yeah, always has it. Yeah.
In my defense, I've only met Kyle in person with a gin and tonic in hand. I don't think I've met him with. So
Like
in
Julian
my
from Trailer
mind-
Park Boys.
I guess at this point, I mean, in my mind, that's
It's
Kyle all the
comic
time. Just it's a part of him, you know. He just
I
doesn't
have a
have it
bottle
on
of
camera.
gin in my basement.
Nice.
You're just gonna set one up just and come back on stream like, hey guys.
We could do it. I got
I'm
drinks as
feeling
well.
that. It's tonic time. That's gonna be my new catchphrase.
It's tonic
whenever I'm
time?
drinking.
Yeah,
It's tonic time.
You can add like a graphic on your stream and just like have it like, you know, flash up there.
Yeah,
Amazing
you could
plan.
do like the Batman spin effect, like, you know.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody make that for Kyle, okay?
Like a lime spinning in and spinning out.
Yeah. It's like extra long because you're making the drink. Like,
Yeah, he's like, oh, hold on.
yeah. Like, I left, dude. That was fucking annoying.
Oh, man.
How do we even get on this? Shit.
I don't know.
This is
we
what I
went-
expect from our conversations, though.
I felt like this was gonna happen too, because we went briefly on online relationship balance. I spoke about me and Jappa, but we haven't spoke about Kyle and his wife and Konky and his wife.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
I met my wife on Facebook actually.
So, online relationships.
Well, let's go. Let's talk
Well,
about.
not necessarily. So I'll give you the full story. So
Blink 182 fan group.
no, went to the same college.
Okay.
Much creepier actually. I was a senior in high school. She was a senior in a high school that was near mine, and she met me, as in I knew one of her friends, at a county chorus concert where like the surrounding high schools came to my high school, and we all sang choir together. Oh, it was great.
Interesting.
And yeah, so they were like, hey, she's going to Robert Morris too. Oh, I just doxed myself. and I don't really care. I don't care. I'm pretty open about it. Everyone knows my last name on Twitter. As soon as my wife changed her last name, it's like, and I've been tagging her in tweets. It's like, well, everyone knows my name now. Like, there's nothing I can do about it.
Not gonna lie to you,
I
saw it.
I just did that with
I
the
don't-
business cards, dude.
don't
I'm like,
care.
literally, you're gonna find out. We're in this world, you know. There's a
I've
dossier on me somewhere.
accepted that if anyone is malicious enough to wanting to like fuck me over, like, one, I know who you are. There's not that many people in my life that watch me that are willing to fuck me over like that. Anyway, as I was saying,
No,
I'm
I'm
from
from Illinois. Wait,
I'm
you're
from
from Illinois?
I'm from Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm from
I'm
Pittsburgh.
not from Illinois.
That's
I'm from
me.
New York. I've been
Dan.
spotted before though, and my name is like very common. And the fact that I was found in like New York City, it blows my mind.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, got doxxed too. It was fun. Went into my Discord, just dropped my whole address in there. It was on Christmas. I was at my grandma's.
That's
Had to
scary.
leave early.
Happy
'cause I was like,
Christmas.
oh no, they're gonna
I've been
kick down my
doxxed.
door. My cats are gonna either get shot or leave the house or something because they were like, don't move
Or scratch someone aggressively.
Yeah, and I was like, oh man, that was my main concern too.
Anyway,
But, yeah, sorry for going off
no,
tangent.
no, it's okay. It's what we're doing here. She, and that was dating someone at the time. But then I broke up, and then I was trying to get people to like hang out. Like we're all going to college together, right? Trying to get people to hang out, get to know people in the area, because don't fucking know. And turns and she was part of the group, and she messaged me on Facebook and was like, "Hey, let's hang out." And I was like, "Oh, she's cute. Okay, cool." And
Good call.
we went to college together, and we dated through college, and then we got married.
That's awesome.
Oh, nice, man.
I like it.
Yeah. So she messaged me on Facebook. She's a creep.
Okay.
It's
a good start.
It's the moral of the story.
I mean, Jappa sent me a message on Steam.
Oh
And this
shit!
after we've been friends for like just about like I think like 2 years or so.
She's
maybe
like,
a little
"Hey,
bit more.
Bobo,
She-
L for D."
No, what she did was she said she sent me a message that here's the secret code and sent me a whole bunch of numbers. Now me, I'm still in like my BoboChet mentality. I was like, secret code, a whole bunch of numbers. What is this? So I just sent her a whole bunch of I sent her like a 14-digit, long, whole bunch of string of numbers, and she was like, I gave you my phone number. And I was like, oh. So now I feel like a dick. I was like, yo,
What are all these numbers?
Yeah, I was like, I don't know.
You're a dumbass.
Here's the secret code too.
To be fair,
Uh,
all guys are pretty oblivious when it comes down to that shit. Like,
Wow, don't speak for yourself, Konky.
all right, Kyle.
I have a wife.
Yeah, okay, so do I. All right, so
I'm the only one not married here. So I feel out of place.
is it weird?
It's a little
Two
weird.
married guys in a chat.
And a chat. that sounds like a start for like a joke.
Yeah,
Two married guys in a chat walk into a bar, and then
it could be.
one of them has a gin and tonic.
I guess like, well, I don't know. My how I met my wife was interesting. So she had like, we both worked at the same company. She had transferred temporarily to like be in one of those, like, it was like, see if this is a good fit for you, and then if it's not, then go back to like your old location. And she had thought I was somebody else, and I had thought she was somebody else. So I was like, Narissa, do you want to go out to lunch? And she like looked at me and she goes, yeah, Jeff. And I'm like, wait a second. You're not Narissa. And she's like, you're not Jeff. And I'm like, now it's weird. So you want to go out to lunch? She's like, yeah, whatever.
You want to go to lunch or whatever?
Yeah. And then
I
we
guess it's
started
too late
off
to
as
back out now.
friends. We started off as friends first, and then it was like, then we just started dating. But it was god damn, that was crazy. It was like that all happened within a 3 week after 3 weeks we started dating.
Yeah.
And after like getting to know each other, friends first, all that fun stuff, and then yeah, now it's gonna be 4 years in October.
That's awesome.
Wow,
dude. Good
man.
for you.
Yeah. It was great.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Wow. Yeah.
I'm happy for you guys, man.
Yeah.
You guys have awesome stories, and
great.
you're warming my heart out here.
How long have you and Jappa been together?
We're starting a hot seat moment for me. I'm just kidding.
You just
We've
got the
been together
motherfucking
since
answer,
October.
boy. You just got the
October.
motherfucking answer in chat.
October 3rd, we officially started dating. And we're going close to 2 years now. So this October. We've been already living together for about a year.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But yeah, it's dope. And Jappa is someone that I do want to have a future with, and I want to hopefully get down to that point.
Don't steal our thunder by proposing to her while we're having a
Live right now, yo, it's gonna
Live.
happen.
Yeah.
No, I'm not ready yet. Wait, hold on. But it is something that I know that's what I'm open to speaking about it. So that's just something that I know for sure.
What day in October? It was on Halloween. Was
It
when I asked her
on
out.
the 3rd. Oh, I
No,
thought you
for
said
me,
I was
yeah,
like,
for
scared.
me.
I was like, I
Yeah.
was scared. I was like, wait, hold on.
No, yeah, that was that I was like gonna freak out for a second. I was like, October, that's cool. Okay, maybe we got like anniversary. We're still anniversary month, homies, so that's cool.
And my
Yeah.
birthday is on October too.
Wait, my wife's birthday is October 5th. When's everyone out? When's your guys' situation?
Mine's October 25th.
25th. Okay.
I'm a winter boy. I'm in February.
I'm in August. I'm a little babby.
A little babby.
I like missed the cutoff, right? So like I hit the cutoff to be in the grade above, but I'm the youngest one in that grade. So
Yeah.
it's my life.
I had a friend like that too. His, my buddy Danny, who I was in a band with. He was September 1st, which is like the day you either start school or like that date is like up in the air. He was always a grade ahead, but always younger. Yeah.
That's funny.
Weird. Yeah. But yeah, I didn't have a, I don't know, the online relationship thing for me. Like you guys both had that in like some capacity, but I never. Yeah, I just never had the whole internet aspect and Twitch and like getting to know people. That was all like fresh for me. I didn't have those friendships until I started streaming. And funny enough, the reason why I even got into streaming was because a friend that I was in a band with, I got reacquainted with through streaming. He was like he was on a stream team. And I was like, what the fuck? Like small world. And then now me and his brother are like very close in terms of hanging out and stuff. And then that just like snowballed. And like my first TwitchCon, I was like super worried. I was like, is there just gonna be a bunch of fucking people who are like, here's my business card, blah blah blah, and like those people exist, you know, they're there. But
there was people who literally, when I was at the bar with like a couple of friends, some people walked by. I was like, here's business cards, just dumped their whole, like a whole stack on the table and like walked away. I was like, what are you doing? What an ass.
Yeah.
It's like, you
I
just
don't want
wasted
these
business cards.
Yeah.
Dude,
they're probably gonna get thrown out now because they're all wet.
I didn't make business cards my first year, and I did perfectly fine. So you'll be fine.
Yeah, I did the same thing. I probably gave away like 4. I don't know.
Yeah. Here's how you have a nice. Here's how you, if you want to get contacted back by a developer and or publisher and or important person at TwitchCon, here's how you do it. I'm gonna represent it and show you guys how it's done. Hi, what's your name? Hi, my name's Kyle. Oh, I like that too. That's very interesting. How do you feel about this? Have a nice conversation. How are you doing? That's great. Can I follow you on social media? Awesome. Thanks. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye. There you go. You're done.
Wow.
Done. That's it. Then you interact with them on Twitter, and now they DM you about codes and shit. There you go. There you're in. That's it. It's like that's it. That's it.
You just need to have an authentic conversation with somebody.
Yeah. You don't need a business card.
Be friends with people.
Just go have a conversation.
You know,
Sorry.
I had at the TwitchCon partner party. After I had like 5, drinks because I didn't want to go back in that line.
Walking with 4 gin and tonics.
Yeah. I sat down and a friend of mine came up to me and was like, Bobo, I need you to meet someone right now. And I was like, I've already had like 4 rum and cokes in me. Sure, let's go. Who are we talking to? We're gonna have you talk to the developer of Streamlabs OBS.
Hey.
Because I feel like you tear apart OBS very well, and I feel like you guys should talk to each other about things. And I did.
I would have liked to talk to them.
And I ended up tearing apart Streamlabs OBS, and I felt really bad. I was brutally honest. Because I was like, I used
that's bad at all. If he's a content developer, he's taking things with stride.
He was like, it uses less CPU usage and all this stuff, and I was like, that's not true. I got capped off on OBS with all my 74 scenes. But Streamlabs
let's talk about
OBS,
why,
I got to like 40 something.
Yeah. My favorite is whenever
we got a dog here. He's
Oh,
barking
that's okay.
in the background. My bad.
Oh, you're fine.
I like whenever I have conversations with like tech, with like obviously clearly sales people trying to talk to me about like Streamlabs or anything like that. Like it uses less CPU, and I'm like, can you tell me technically as to why? Can you discuss the CPU architecture with me, please? Could you give me some details as to why it's different? They're like, oh no, it's better.
They're just sweating.
Okay.
The reason that the reason that Streamlabs OBS uses less CPU, it necessarily doesn't. It actually uses a little bit more. But the way that it uses it is you don't need to have Google Chrome open to have like all this stuff open. It's all like a one program, and Google Chrome eats up a lot of resources for that reason. Yeah.
So it's all proprietary stuff, so they can all talk to each other and handle a little more efficiency.
Yeah, and that's why he was saying like Streamlabs OBS utilizes less resources. And I was like, not necessarily true. And everything that I've done on Streamlabs OBS has caused me to, I tore it apart and we spoke about it. And he ended up sending me like an alpha developer version after the fact. And I was like, man, I thought I was a complete dick to this guy.
No, dude.
Following each other on because he has his own personal Twitch page.
Well, a
As
big
someone that works
following
in
him
tech,
there.
like, as someone that works in technology, like I would appreciate honest feedback about something I'm proud of, right?
Right.
If I'm proud of Streamlabs OBS, I would want people to say, "Hey, I don't like that you can't do this. I would really like this feature. This would be cool. I can do this here, but I can't do it there. Why did that change? Like this isn't as efficient." Like people telling me those things means that like I want to use your product. I care about what your product does. You know, it's just not hitting all the points for me, but I'm passionate enough and I care enough to tell you. So if you
Right.
care, you can make those changes. Like I like that. I think that's a
Well,
good thing.
you touched on a really big topic, and it's honestly just like feedback, like honest feedback,
We
and
talked
not
about
just
that
somebody.
last time.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
the feedback culture. There isn't a feedback culture on Twitch, and that's like a huge problem. Like there's
There should be.
well, that's what I would love it, you know, like I would
It's
love
so
to,
hard.
but you can't do that. Like you
People
can't.
don't want to listen half the time.
Right. Well, it's not even they don't want to listen. There's a lot of ingredients, and the only reason why like I'm so fucking talkative about this shit is because when I learned how to give feedback and like talk to my peers from the training that I got like years ago, it has only given me successful relationships professionally going forward because I don't hurt anybody's feelings because of there's a lot of ingredients to it. I don't know how to explain it. Like when you say constructive criticism, it looks really awesome on paper, but how do you vocalize that? What are the ingredients for that?
Constructive criticism.
Right. Yeah, and not even that. Like, did you even ask permission? You know, beforehand? Like Bobo, one of the key. Like we see it all the time as content creators. People come in the channel and they're like, "Call me on Discord right now, you bitch." You know, like, like you're being a bitch. You're not open-minded. You said this was a conversation. I'm here. You know, like there's a lot of stuff.
Oh, is that what that dude wanted?
Yeah. Banned and reported.
Fuck that
yeah.
guy.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah.
Fuck that
Exactly.
guy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who give unsolicited advice, and I feel like that can be kind of like an thing to do a little bit when, like, you know, let's say like Kyle's talking about one thing, and then I'd be like, Kyle, here's a advice for you. It comes off very condescending and very.
You mean when I talk about cybersecurity and everyone else gets in my fucking mentions?
Right.
It makes me so angry.
It's like, you know, like it's cool. Like I appreciate like the heart is there and it's probably coming from a good place, but it comes off very pretentious, and then you're like, you know, there's a difference. If somebody wants help, you know, cool, you can go in there and see and offer it. If they take it, give it to them. If not, then drop it. But there's a lot of people like backseating, exactly. But there's a lot of people who don't know how to have discussions, and which is why like I was mentioning earlier, I like Konky a lot because he'll say something and there's something I might not agree with. And I think in the last episode, he said something I didn't agree with before, and I was like, Konky, I disagree with this. And he was like, okay, let's talk about it. And we talked about it. I said my point, he said his point, and then we both grew from it and developed, more viewpoints on the matter.
Right.
People are very emotional and go in based off like,
oh my god,
this is my emotional view on this,
fucking god,
change it.
Don't even get me started.
And the only thing that they want when they ask for like a discussion about it or like advice, they just want to hear their same thoughts verbalized in someone else's voice.
Well, it's not a conversation when they're not listening, right? It's what they want to do is win.
Right.
It's a winning thing. It's not a conversation thing. It's not a mutual growth thing. It's not a learning and understanding somebody else's perspective, even if you disagree with it. It is a winning thing. Yeah. And a lot of people are so in this like mindset they don't even realize
Twitter,
it.
Man.
Dude, Twitter, yeah.
I hate it.
Well, Twitter, I mean, you understand that Twitter is not conducive for conversation. It's not. It's just like, here's an idea. Well, it can be if you
as long as
find
both
the right
parties
spot.
Aren't fucking worried about the goddamn clout. Like,
right.
Ugh.
Yeah.
And I feel like it doesn't just stem on Twitter though too. It's like I've noticed and I'll bring it up a little bit because I guess it's somewhat drama, but I won't go too much into
go
it.
ahead, that's fine.
Not to derail us, but it's not just Twitter. It's just we're on Twitter a lot. So it's one of those things that we see it a lot there, but it's almost everywhere. It's the same thing how I saw some people saying, you know what, I'm moving over to Mixer because there's less drama over there. There's less drama than it is on Twitch. I'm like, it's not a platform thing, it's a people thing.
Yeah.
You're gonna go into that same world too. Like it's like, Twitch, yeah, but Twitter is this.
People kill streamers.
Exactly.
Like, don't you understand that even though like
That's a
they
tweet.
stream on Mixer, like, and they're doing tweets, like streamer Twitter, regardless or whatever, like it's still those things. Those
Yeah.
things are like streamer Twitter. We talked about this on the last show with Kyle.
What a
Was how
fucking
streamer
word.
Twitter.
What a fucking word.
Right, like what does that even mean? It's
does that
literally just a bunch of people who talk about the same thing, and you'll find that in every group. Like it's just you
Yeah,
just replace the
exactly.
word stream with like cars or sports or whatever. Like it's the same thing.
Wrestling Twitter,
Right.
Like the behind the
That's
scenes.
actually be really
Twitter,
dope. It's
right.
probably mostly gifs of Macho Man Randy Savage.
Sure, it's great.
Why not?
I'm sure there's
Yeah.
zero drama there.
There's always drama
Definitely no
on,
throwing your
wrestling
pets
Twitter.
I mean, a lot of that stuff. I feel like relating it to like satire. I feel like wrestling Twitter is very satire because some of the people
They-
play to their characters.
They're like the bane of satire. They were born in it, molded by it. By the time we recognize satire, they were already a man. Like that's just like
Yeah.
that's what's going on here.
That's awesome.
But
Scripted
that's
drama.
like that thing where it's
Yeah.
like they're like leagues ahead of like stuff that people have been doing on like Twitch because they've been doing it for years.
Right.
And they kind of develop a character, they go with it, and some of these people play the character both on and off the their platform. Like if you're a heel, they're a heel on Twitter too, and they're like
Yeah,
tough to
dude.
connect to other people. I mean, like I've
I'm
seen
a
them
heel
even
on
like
Twitter.
outplaying. You're a heel on Twitter.
I'm a heel on Twitter.
Like we got baby faces on Twitch, heels on Twitch. Whew. But it's one of those things that I think personally people can grow from looking at other content creators outside of just streaming,
Right.
looking at content creators who are, wrestlers, people who are actors, musicians,
Podcasters. Yeah.
podcasters,
The great satirical
talk show
comedian,
hosts,
Dr. Dishes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was like a huge
I-
motivating factor for me, like to do the talk show, was because of the amount of podcasts that I had listened to. I was like, I love that these conversations can happen, and my mind is broadening. Like, what is missing, and how can I contribute to the space? And it's literally just okay. Nobody's fucking talking. Nobody's talking. Like in a conversation, it's still sensational. Like all the stuff that's like really getting driven up there is fueled by emotion and filled with drama, and there's no room for understanding or like even if we all disagreed, all three of us disagreed with the opinions of another person, we could still leave understanding the perspective of what that is. And it's not an argument or about winning, it's just sharing experience, and that's what I wanted to do, so yeah. Nuts.
One of the people that I took a lot of inspiration from before I got on Twitch and doing content creation was the wackiness from David Letterman.
Huh.
He
Really?
had a very old episode from way back when where he didn't acknowledge it, he didn't tell nobody. You can probably find that on, but for people who were watching TV back then, they thought their television was hacked up because very slightly the screen would start turning very slightly. And then at some and it's just like it's very slow, and you can't tell. You're like, maybe my television's also. You're slapping your your CRT television trying to see if like something's going on. And then like towards like the middle of the episode, the whole show's upside down, and they're just not like paying mind to it. But it just like it's one of those little wacky things that I was like, all right, how can I implement that on Twitch? I like that wackiness. He would have random people come in and interrupt. And they would be like very wacky audience people, but they'd be placements. And that's one of the things that I kind of took a lot of inspiration from. And it's people outside of Twitch, And I feel like if a lot of people do that more, they'll kind of grow and then,
Well, what you're talking about is experiencing the thing you'd like to do through the lens of somebody who's doing it very well, like a master.
Exactly.
Right. So like, how do you become a better content creator is like what we can lean into. And it's by watching the content that you'd like to produce, but by the people who are doing it extremely well.
Exactly. And who's been doing it for years, before this was even a thing.
Right.
And that's where I feel like a lot of people take inspiration from other streamers, which is fine. But we're still all fairly new to streaming. Streaming's only been, it hasn't even been that long that, we were just in TV for a while, and
we're
then
figuring our shit
it's only
out.
been 5 years, right? 5 or so.
I think
2014.
Well, Justin TV was, I think it's close to like 11 years.
Yeah. It was
okay.
Like 2011 or 12 is when Justin TV turned into Twitch.
Okay.
So there was still a live streaming platform, and there's a lot of people who like carried on from JTV to Twitch, but it's still a fairly new thing. And just seeing people who've done it before, like even like on television and radio, you kind of get to learn like you kind of it's like kind of like cheating. It's like reading towards the end of the book and seeing what happens. Like, oh, this works. Let me try to implement that instead of seeing what other people are doing on Twitch, because we're all behind like a few steps.
Well, what
if
you're
that makes
what you're
sense.
talking about, like with the, it's cheating almost, because you're just copying. Like there's no
I don't think it's
Well,
that.
not copying
exactly.
directly. It's not like I'm doing the same exact thing Letterman's doing. It's just more
Yeah,
so
you're giving
seeing
it your own
like
voice.
you give it your own voice, but you're seeing like you're looking at it and saying, all right, I feel like I can implement something similar. I like this wackiness. I like this concept, this design, this base foundation. Not like saying I'm gonna take all of Letterman's bits and use it as my own.
right.
Like not that.
I'm gonna get myself a girlfriend.
It's not malicious, is what you're saying. Yeah.
I'm gonna give her come on stream.
No, but it's more so, that's my mentality, is trying to take like inspiration, trying to see what people do, in media and what people do in like television talk shows and whatnot, and see how they, approach content creation as a whole. Because then you kind of say like, you know what, I never thought of it that way, or I never seen it like that, and that's really cool. But not like carbon copying people or like, plagiarizing. That's not good.
Yeah, I thought
You
of
make-
like
you
I
make
thought
your
you were
own-
going on like the malicious route of that, but
Oh, no,
my bad, my bad.
No, never that. 'Cause
Bobo,
I-
you fucking thief.
Yeah, I'm stealing everyone's content. Look out, everybody! I'm coming for it.
Bobo's gonna steal. He's gonna be like, welcome to my show. It's called the.
PostCubicleChat.
Yeah,
PostCubicleKyle
Welcome to Bonky Bong
Bonky
64.
Welcome-
And this is the BoboChet talk show.
Welcome to Kanjo Buoys. It's a podcast.
I mean-
Kanjo buoys.
Yeah.
Also thinking about it, I mean, SNL does the exact thing that we're talking about, but in parody form.
Yeah, yeah.
Because they take personalities and characters and from like other people, and it's not necessarily plagiarizing, but they're taking that character and utilizing fun of it.
It is like my dream to be able to have a studio of people that are all in touch with streamer culture and to just make satirical SNL skits for just like hours and hours on end. Just have
Dr.
the
disrespect.
Yeah, you could just you could literally do like all of the character, like all the streamer people, right? Like your lyrics and your Greek gods and your Nimlanakuses and all the streamer like drama with Alinity and all that shit. And like you could just use that as your culture and just make satirical content for like the rest of your
Yeah,
life.
agreed.
Do that.
Yeah.
God, that would be so much fun. Like I can just imagine just a skit of like someone playing Alinity and just like throwing animals and it just gets more and more fucking ridiculous. She's fucking throwing bowls. Like she's like, I gotta make dinner. There's a whole fucking cow into a skillet. Like you could do it, dude. It'd be
You could
funny.
do it.
You could do it.
You probably
There's
could.
lots of
And
comedy
then
there.
it shines some light and some humor on like a more serious topic while also kind of addressing it too.
Right.
Right.
Or even just shedding light on the ridiculousness of people's reactions.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Like that's
Or-
mainly what I think it would be for me, is just shedding light on like how much you guys fucking you overreacted at whatever this, event may be, or underreacted. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like just just doing good satire, which is putting the whole culture under a lens and making fun of it.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes
I
sense.
mean, it's such a I guess in this generation, satire is such a hard thing to grasp, because
Tell me
it's either
about
you have to do it like really well and everyone has to be in on it.
Or it has to be blatantly
Otherwise-
obvious. There's no
Yeah,
nuance,
I don't
right?
know. I don't know. I've kind of fallen to the camp of there's just a lot of people that are stupid and don't understand what satire is. Or at least they don't understand. They don't have that same. You read a ridiculous statement, okay? Like a Dave Chappelle joke or a tweet, and
Sure, yeah.
it's clearly a joke, okay? Or it's in the whole everything contextually
Yeah.
is a joke. For example, the video I have of me putting a raw piece of chicken in the fucking microwave for 45 minutes, okay? Like,
Well, that's how you get
That was-
salmonella right there.
That was
of
good.
course it is. Of course it is. That's the joke. You know what I mean? Like that's what's funny about it, is like, why the hell would someone ever do that, right?
Yeah.
But then of course there's always that one person that's like, this may have been a joke, but you better have cleaned up. Of course I cleaned up. It's a joke. Like there's just a lot of people that just have to say it. They have
Yeah.
to, just in case. They just have to. I don't
I'm
know.
more
I think those
offended that
people
you
are
didn't-
stupid.
I'm more offended that you didn't season it. You just put it right in the microwave, man. Like, what were you
That would have added so much. Next
should have got some like
next
nice
time
little
Stream of
garlic
Twitter gets
on
on its
it.
bullshit about snacks on stream, I'll make version 2.0.
It's just gonna be in
There
a
you
few
go.
months, dude. It's like
Give it
there's
a
no
week.
yeah. No, I
Give it a
think
week.
it's like
Someone
every
will throw
month.
up on stream and it'll start all over again.
Is it me? Like we talked about this before, but like the topics that come up on quote unquote streamer
Shot.
Twitter are always the same, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It's always the
It-
same. It's like cycled out every few months. It's like booby streamers, snacks.
Right.
I can't eat on stream, and they come out of nowhere. From what I can tell, like anybody who's
It's just someone has one bad take and then everyone decides to dunk on that one person. So
Sure.
then therefore everyone has to have a hot take about the hot take.
God, it's annoying. I
God
don't like
forbid
it.
letting stupid people just live in a cone of silence.
Now, this isn't really like drama or satire or anything along the lines. It's just more of a pet peeve of mine, and
Yeah. Now we're
I
bitching
might,
with it.
I might sound very blunt about this.
Go ahead, do it.
Yeah, hit it, dude.
I don't. It's a huge pet peeve that I see people like tweeting these things. Not trying to point any shots at anyone in particular, but they'll tweet things like, "Here's a bunny rabbit holding a sign saying something very inspirational and some advice." Gets 14,000 retweets and like 100,000 likes.
We
6
talking
months
about,
later,
like-
that same tweet comes up again, and then it trends again, and it's like something silly like, following on Twitch is free.
Oh my god.
It's like,
God
yeah.
damn it.
I
Are we
didn't know.
talking about the principle of the meme itself or just using the meme for lame ass shit?
I know it's just I've seen accounts purposely like Twitter accounts that would just like cycle through these like popular tweets just so that they
Oh,
could blow
yeah.
up and then be like, whoa, I didn't know this was gonna blow up.
My favorite tweets are the
Here's
ones
my,
that
here's my SoundCloud.
hey guys.
And I'm like, oh, come on, man.
Fucking God, you touched a nerve with me. Hey guys, unpopular opinion here. You should talk to your chat when you stream. Like, shut the fuck up.
Agreed.
Shut up.
My
Shut
thing
up.
is,
Agreed, dude.
it's,
I had a
it's
whole
Shut
rant
up.
about it.
It's a borderline unsolicited advice.
It is
Exactly.
unsolicited.
And then it's like,
Unsolicited, unhelpful advice.
and then also it's like things that we've already heard just being thrown again in like an echo chamber, just getting repeated. Like people know this stuff, and
Hey,
who are
what's
you
up,
to
very
tell other
liberal
people
fan
how to do
base?
their own stream? If
Hey,
I want
very
to do my
liberal fan
stream
base.
with just a zoom in my face, I'll do it. Say I won't.
Hey, very liberal fan base. How do you feel about gay marriage being okay? Like, shut up! Like, stop it!
Dude.
Oh my god.
Well, that when I was talking about like the feedback culture on Twitch and how it doesn't exist, it's because people speak in just generalities because it's safer to do that than it is to be specific. Like,
Mhm.
and it's I don't know, man. It's just it's
Oh, you
not
want me to name
actual
names?
engagement.
You want me to-
I'm not gonna do it. I could do it though. I could fucking name some people out. You know, like I got
Well,
I
yeah,
got
to
banned
a
from
point.
some of their shit. I would. Sorry, go ahead. Huh?
I think that all of us at one point have like made the tweet where we're trying to be helpful, but we really were just echo chambering.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
all of us. have been
Everyone's
there.
been at that point.
Not like I'm judging people. I just judge the people that have a following and still continue to do it. Shut up.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Shut up.
But my thing is like what I'm specifically talking about is like stealing other people's tweets and creative ideas that was like original
Interesting.
post.
Yeah.
And then they're like, I'm gonna 6 months later when people forget about it, I'm gonna repost the thing and
It's
can't
not
take it my
Yeah.
own. And then, oh crap, it blew up. Who would have thought this? This was gonna blow up. Hey, here's my Twitch account. Here's my
Just-
SoundCloud.
Just
I
dropping
didn't
in
know
to
this was
say
gonna
follow
happen.
your friends and support them and their content. Shut up.
Following is free.
Dude,
you know?
it's-
I know this. but
It's fucking stupid. Like, I'm
I don't know, I
gonna
feel
say,
like
I'm gonna say,
like
I don't
corn
care that
log
you
tea.
broke your elbow.
yeah.
Whoa. Okay, dude.
Oh man.
I just,
The-
I
the
don't
gloves are
fucking
off at this
understand.
point.
Like, I don't understand why anybody does that except for attention. That's it. Like, that's all it is.
Mm.
They know it's just, I like this, I'm gonna retweet it, and then everybody else who is less experienced, and that's what I think it is taking advantage of less experienced people. Because like when you have a bigger following, you can of course say a lot of things, right? And like if it goes far, people are like, yeah, I'll follow you if you tweet like this. Oh, I needed that reminder today. Shut the fuck up. You forgot about it. Already you forgot about it. You're already like bitching about something else. There's nothing specific in what happens in those tweets that stays with you and makes you a better person. It is general positive feedback. It is the equivalent of saying you did a good job and you were like, yeah. And then like the next day you're like, you fucking forgot about it. Nobody gave you anything specific to go off of. Nobody gave you feedback on your channel. Nobody
Dopamine. Dopamine.
Literally.
Dopamine.
But I think a lot of it has to do with just the adolescence of social media and the inexperience of people who've been using this stuff. So like the one thing that I was talking about with Kyle last time was that as people who are quote unquote experienced in the platform, I think it's our job not to police, but to be raising our hands and being like, yo, that's stupid.
We
you
talk
know,
over them. we speak over them. Listen.
So what you're saying is you want us to go into the Twitter comments and be like, hey, this is a tweet from like 6 months ago that someone posted.
No,
in here.
you have conversations about it like this one is what I'm talking about, because in the context of this conversation, people can actually respond. On Twitter, you've got 240 characters. You're like, you're just a hater. Why would you say something like this and not expect us to come out of the woodwork? Like, there's all this other bullshit. And Gothic's in the chat. Holy shit, what's up?
Listen up, affiliates. A slightly larger affiliate is talking.
Look at my follower account, please.
Yeah.
Here's a question for people.
I had
here.
several viral tweets.
Several. It's like a fucking resume. No, dude.
And it's like screenshotted and like posted.
No.
Okay, I've got a skit idea. Okay, and feel free to take it. It's just MTV Cribs, but it's framed tweets that you have like on the fucking wall and progressively bigger depending on how viral they did. You're like, this is the one tweet where I said that if you're having a bad day, forget about it. And it
has a bunny rabbit with like the sign right here.
Exactly.
Oh, my God.
Sorry. What were you gonna pose to the question? Yeah.
All right. So since we're talking about Twitter and some things that are like pet peeves, and that was just a pet peeve of mine. Like, I don't care what people.
Oh, you cut out real bad.
You're cutting out real bad over there.
Oh wait, hold on. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, now we can. Yeah.
Okay. So what I was saying is, it's a pet peeve of mine. I don't care what people post on Twitter. If you want to post it on Twitter, go ahead. It doesn't affect me directly. I don't care. I was just saying it's a pet peeve. But here's another pet peeve of mine. Here, this tweet just gets me every time. It's hey, let's grow together. You know, drop your links in the channel down below.
Fuck off. Fuck you. And I'm like, fuck off.
And then it has like 100,000 likes.
Kyle's going into labor, dog.
50,000 comments and like 14,000 retweets. People are like, hey, here's my link. And they're like, oh, you're cool.
I'm going to check it out. I promise.
Here's what happened, okay? So I've done that
Fuck
before.
you, dude.
Fuck me, bro. All right, so,
but fuck you, Kyle.
Actually, time at Keon.
Let's go together, Kyle.
Granted, it was back in the days where I let my passion take over my tweeting before I thought about something. So I'm gonna admit that this was a mistake from myself. This is how I met Keon. Is I was really pissed off that there was a bunch of Twitter accounts charging people to like look at their fucking streams. And I was like, this is so fucking dumb. Like, let me just look at your stream and give you a 5-word, answer. Right. But then, of course, it comes across as if I'm asking for people's links. So, like, in retrospect, not the smartest idea. But, like, at the moment, I had a plan.
I feel like we're reaching some conversations that people are not gonna like.
Oh, fucking
who cares, dude?
Listen,
we're on my channel, dude.
Me, dude.
I'm gonna fuck me up, guys. Fuck me up.
You can ask me about any specific experience or conversation that I've had on Twitter between you and I personally, that other people have had, any drama that I'm related to or connected to in any way, and I will give you my straight up honest answer. I don't care whose stream I'm on. I don't care. You can ask me on Twitter. I'll tell you the tea. I don't care. I just I'm too old to give a fuck.
It's not. I honestly don't think it's that. I think it's just like, I think you've boiled down to that point. Like when there's so much bullshit going around, it's like, listen, I'm gonna cut the bullshit. I'm just gonna be real with you. You know what I mean? For me, like, and I'll say this. I'll speak on behalf of Kyle.
Thank you.
All right, in a nicer way. But like negative specific feedback is how you become better as a person, and the same thing with positive specific feedback. So for anybody who doesn't know what this is, it's called constructive feedback. On paper it sounds really great, but saying it and reading it is completely different. One, you need to have rapport with the people that are giving you feedback. Like, they need to trust you, they need to know you, you need to know them. Otherwise it's like, that disconnect there is way too much of a gap to like have a conversation about what's happening, because then like you said, people get defensive, right, Bobo?
He's like, who the fuck are you coming at me telling me how to do my stream? Right. Sir, I am appalled, and I'm mad that you're not agreeing with me right now.
Yeah.
But then if it's like someone like, hey, like I've known what you're doing here is it's not that cool, man. But if you ever want to talk about it,
Can I get a fucking ban on Shocktopus?
Yeah, you
for
got
pulling
it.
out the dumbass
All right.
jokes. Get
1
new
second.
jokes, Shocktopus. Get new jokes.
Kyle,
All right.
I trust Kyle. You can't do that.
Yeah,
Monster
Can't do
energy
that.
drinks,
Get
come
new
on.
jokes.
I didn't even see what happened. While
Get
I
new
just saw someone
jokes.
got
I hate
bladed
it.
in
It's
chat. I was like,
it's
oh,
so
damn.
dumb.
The Monster Energy drink meme is
Makes me so
bad.
upset.
Stop it.
I'll be straight up with you guys. It bothers me so much, and like it's supposed
He's my
to.
friend, so it bothers
And
me as
it's
well.
supposed to bother me as a Kyle. The meme is supposed to bother me, but like fuck that meme. Get new
It's
jokes.
targeted.
Garbage jokes.
Yeah. You know who made those? You know who made the fucking Kyle meme? Scott. Scott did.
Fucking
Freaking
Scott.
Scott.
Yeah.
God
Do we
damn
have any
it.
Scots in the
Scott,
in
get the
chat by
fuck
any
outta
chance?
here.
Scots, identify yourself. You're not
Yeah,
cool.
if you're a Scott in chat, type one. Get the band ready.
Is this the Scott the next Chad, or is that what that's happening? Okay,
Octopus is-
wait,
I'm
hold
just
on.
saying.
Before we get super off topic, I want to go through
Okay.
like the rest of this stuff, and I want to hear
Yeah,
if you
yeah,
guys agree.
yeah, yeah.
So rapport is another big one, right? So that you can give it. So Gothics has an amazing quote that is, "You do not trust somebody who didn't build anything." Right? That's a big one.
Ooh.
That's a huge one. How do you take
Ooh.
advice from somebody who hasn't built anything? You don't. There you go.
Ooh, that's a bone for a lot of people, like a very sensitive bone for people. I
Oh.
like that.
Yeah. I got a note for those people who disagree with you. With that sentence, go fuck yourself. All right. Number 2. So rapport is 1, right? Rapport is 1. Trust, all that stuff. 2 is permission. You need to ask permission to give feedback to people. You
So
can't
true.
just fucking do it. Okay, if it's one thing, if it's a
Yes.
meme, I think like jokes and comedy and all that stuff, like there's a gray area there, and we can talk about it for fucking hours about how that's a thing. But you can't just do it unwarranted, okay? And if it happens, it shouldn't be in a public space. It should be like within the community, private
sorry.
DMs, whatever. Do you want to talk about it right now?
No, I'll wait for you to be done, but it's
Okay.
definitely relevant to the conversation.
Okay. Mental note.
Sorry.
Don't forget it.
I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine. No, you're fine. 3rd is permission, rapport, and yeah, those are the main things.
Oh, why can't people just be like, hey, if you ever need help, I'm always here, man. Cool. And then they come out and be like, hey, I need help. And then they're like, all right, bam, I'm gonna hit you.
Yeah. Give
Right.
help to
Why
people that
can't people
actually
do- that's
ask
so
for it,
easy.
Offering help as opposed to just handing it to people.
Yeah,
Right.
like you offer it. It's like saying, like
Yeah.
it's like going to somebody's house and then instead of saying, hey, you want something? No, you just come out with like a 4-course meal. Drink. Here you go. You're gonna drink this and you're eating this right now. It's like I just got here. I guess I'm eating this. Like you can't just do that to people. Like
God,
you
that's
have
so
to.
funny.
You offer. If they say yes, cool. Then you lay it on them. If not, then they don't want it.
Hope you're not allergic to shellfish. Be our guest.
There you
Here's
go.
gumbo. Yeah.
All right.
Oh man. But Kyle, you
God
said you had
damn.
a story. Sorry for.
Yeah. What was your
so,
story?
man.
Yeah.
So like for context, all of this has been cleared up and like it was a clear miscommunication. I'm very good friends with this person today. So like just for context of this whole story. But so it was actually like I was maybe 6-7 months into my streaming career, and I'd finally like created like a good group of friends, good people that I had met, and I felt really comfortable. Still friends with these people today. Like they're the backbone of like my Twitch experience, right? But I had met some partners, some bigger streamers that had like a larger following, and I really looked up to these guys because you know how it is when you first start streaming.
Of course.
Like you look up to the partners, you look up to the people that are larger than you, and you like learn from them, and you don't idolize them, but you see them as it's just how it is. That's, you get over that, but initially it's like a feeling of awe, and you look up to these people. And then I got a message from one of them. I considered him a friend at the time. It's like, hey, I want to talk to you about something. I was like, sure. So I popped into his Discord, and it was like me and him, and then like a bunch of other people, and like he gave me some feedback on my stream, which was fine feedback. Like in retrospect, it was good feedback. But it was weird because I had been called into a Discord with people that I considered my friends, and then all of a sudden, one of them's telling me weird shit that he doesn't like about my stream, and everyone's weighing in on it.
That's rough.
So like
That is-
I don't. It was a misunderstanding, and like the long story short, the person has apologized and agreed that it was a inappropriate situation to put me in.
That's like being invited to a roast, but not knowing that you're gonna get
it
roasted.
was fucking.
They're
It
like, hey,
rushed me.
sit right
Yeah.
here for me.
Yeah.
And then everyone starts taking turns just roasting you, and you're like, wait,
Yes.
hold on. I thought we
So
were
like
just
I know
hanging
the
out.
person had no malicious intent at all, and that's why I'm purposely not naming people, is because like I'm still friends with these humans. But like it was a very eye-opening situation for me where it crushed me and it really defined a lot of my content from there on out. And that's funny that you say that, Keon, because it was good feedback. it was great feedback, but it ties in perfectly into Konky's overall point, which is like ask for fucking permission and make sure it's like not public and it's an appropriate situation. Like
Right.
that is
Yeah.
so important.
Super
If that
important.
if I didn't even ask for help, that was like more important to the whole conversation.
We were thrown
like-
into the whole feedback
Yes,
thing without
yeah.
being
Yeah.
giving permission or expecting at all. There was no expectation set. You were in a Discord and then people started telling you what was wrong and you're like, whoa, what the fuck? Like you didn't
Right.
even get a chance to
Hard.
react
It's a
to it.
process.
Yeah.
So-
Welcome to your roast.
Right.
The
And that's
feedback
gonna
itself-
the negative experience. And here's the thing too. Do you still remember the feedback?
I do. Yeah, I was gonna
Okay.
touch on it.
But
after
it's
here.
secondary to the negative experience.
Yes,
Which is the
absolutely. It's
worst
always
part
tied
about
to
it.
that now. It's
Right.
always tied to that negative experience.
Right.
And I always think about it every time that I make a move or to make some kind of change to my content.
And that's
So
something
what-
that like you now have to work through because of the trauma of going through that bullshit. you know?
if you want to, I don't like to call it trauma. I like that because it didn't, I'm fine.
Well,
I'm
what I
okay.
think,
But, like,
trauma is a heavy word. What I would say
Sure.
it impacted you in such a way that you're
Yeah,
second guessing yourself in a lot of
yes.
situations where normally you would be like pretty confident striding into something.
yeah, it left an impact on me. Definitely.
It was like the rug was pulled from under your
yes.
feet.
Yeah.
And
The
that's
feedback
that-
specifically. I'm sorry. I don't mean to.
No,
interrupt
go
you.
ahead.
No,
Yeah.
I'm so
keep
terrible at
going.
this. The feedback specifically was that the sound effects and scenes that I had were a bit distracting from me, the streamer, and that the conversations that I was having, or that the entertainment value of people that like to just watch the flow of a stream, in his opinion, was disrupted because of all of the effects or triggers that I had for viewers and or myself. And looking back and seeing what my content is today, absolutely correct. Like he was right on the right on the perfect advice to give me at that young in my streaming career, to know that like, yeah, there's something here, but you're fucking it up with all these extra shit. You know what I mean? And I feel like I finally hit my groove, but like if that advice had been given to me in a more appropriate way, I probably would have been able to pivot to what I find comfortable more quickly.
Oh
I-
yeah.
I personally feel that way.
Well, yeah, because you're talking about giving feedback in such a way that it lets you go forward better,
Right.
but not remember the bad aspects of it. And like that's a huge part about feedback and becoming a better anybody. Like whether it's working, behavior that you exhibit, like especially like I have these conversations a lot like with my wife because I've got ADHD and my tendencies, like the negative aspects of ADHD are exacerbated when I'm drinking. So like what ends up happening is the sense of time is even further like displaced.
Yeah.
I don't really keep track of that. I interrupt people a huge amount of time and I speak my mind without any sort of like, I mean, that's what alcohol does, but for me, I know, yeah, rolls on the floor. I was not drunk, okay? I was completely sober. I was just hungover, and I was like, I'm on the floor already. I'm just going to record this video.
Rolling Boy 64.
Yeah, dude. And I was like, dude, I actually like this. Like, this is pretty comfortable. Like, I like being able to move my whole body, so I'm gonna do more videos probably like that. But but the whole
It's good
thing,
to be back, man.
yeah. Oh, dude, I got a foam. This is separate, but I got a foam roller and like some therapy shit that my sister turned me on to, and oh my god, amazing.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
But off topic. The main thing I wanted to say is that constructive negative feedback, constructive positive feedback, these are things that like are not present in the Twitch community, and the reason why they're not present in the Twitch community is because it's not present in a majority of human beings' lives. So nobody's talking.
Live in a society.
We live in a society. Yeah. we live in a society, and I didn't really like I know it sounds, for me, like I had a unique experience because the place that I started working, I was relatively young. Like I started when I was 20, and then by the time I had left, I was like, my prefrontal cortex was developed. I turned 25, and I had been conditioned to talk with
everything.
people in such a way. Right? Yeah, I know everything. I know everything.
You got like a Magneto moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Professor
everything
Xavier
makes
You're
Sense.
watching the clock. Ding.
Yeah.
Power.
Yeah. Yeah, like I was
My
completely
prefrontal lobe.
exactly. Yeah, it was one of those things where like I was just so conditioned to do it, and when I had left that job and went to, like, I worked in IT for the first time ever. I was at a laboratory, like a government lab, working at a help desk, and I'm like talking with people and realizing people don't, like, they have never had that conversation with anybody to improve like processes or anything at work, and I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
You know, like
I know that feeling.
it just set in. I was like, I am fucked here. Like, I can't work here. You know, like, and it was just
Yeah.
like trying to find a job and people that were like open to having conversations about improving the workplace and the processes that were in it. And I was just like, how does nobody know how to talk to anybody about like improving behavior? And that's all it is. Like, it's small things that add up to a lot. And if everybody knew how to do that, I think like this whole platform would be a better place. Twitter would be a better place. Like, we don't have socialized coaching skills between talking with people unless you have a degree in it. And those people make money as PR people and like talk show hosts and that sort of thing. It's fucking wild, man.
Ooh, can I pivot a little bit?
Yeah.
If you don't mind?
No, go ahead.
Something that actually this upsets me and I don't like it. I find it rather gatekeeping. I don't know why I thought about this, but it's when people in the streamer and Twitch community tell people that their advice or that their experience isn't valid, or that it isn't.
How is that expressed?
I'm going to be so specific here.
Okay.
Twitch music. Like, there's the Twitch music situation where there was some, I believe it was a musician that was very knowledgeable of the music business space, wrote a book for musicians about how to stream and be successful on Twitch. Okay. You could say that falls into the streamer coach category, which people have.
I would say it's completely different, though.
I agree. I feel that looking at Twitch from a business perspective, anybody can do that regardless of whether or not you are a streamer. It is very easy to look at Twitch as a company and Twitch as an ecosystem and make comparisons to YouTube and other content creators and influencer types. And you can infer differences with live streaming if you take 5 seconds to watch a live stream. Anybody, I feel, can then take that information and then apply it to their own expertise of how business and music works, make references, make connections, and just kind of like give a musician a good idea of how their content would fit on this website. That's not hard to envision. Like that, I feel like that could be a book that anyone that's knowledgeable of business, music, and wants to learn more about Twitch could write. Yes, it would add to their experiences, and yes, I agree that like that's something that they are missing, but it is not useless advice. Like, that's my point, is like there's actually value in that advice. It may not be as specific as to like how to stream or what streaming requires, but that's not on the person talking about Twitch from a business perspective. That's on the creator.
Right.
And people were very specific and very negative towards this person that wrote this book because they're not a streamer. They're like, oh, you can't be giving advice. They're very gatekeepy on that kind of thing.
But you're talking about outspoken individuals that are quote unquote extremists, like very, very brand extremists, and those exist everywhere, and they're the loudest people. Unfortunately, you don't have a bunch of positive people from like who are associated with the brand coming out and be like, thank you for writing this book, business person. You know, like everybody who hates it's going to come out and talk first. Whenever they see it, like, what's driven emotionally? What's a stronger emotion? You know what I mean? Hate. That's a pretty fucking strong one, you know, like
jump right into
fuck you, you know, like that's a really strong emotion. Like, first, if I feel fuck you, I am compelled. There's an action that I need to take. But if I'm like, I like that, I'm gonna like it, and that's it. You know?
I think I was just more upset that people now I should looking at this from a different perspective, like these were people that I knew and I didn't expect that from them.
But it hurt you on top of that too. Like, it was a betrayal almost, you know, like you would expect them to be better. But like, one of the things that I always try, and this is a hard part, this is like the hardest part about swimming in this shit and seeing the reactions of people and like social media and all this stuff in general, is the assumption of positive intent is completely fucking thrown out the window.
Dude, there's
zero
fucking
assumption of positive intent. And it's easy to say, you don't have positive intent with this particular person, but you were just talking about it. It's like, that's different. There's a track record of behavior that is bullshit. Okay? That's the difference. If you have somebody who acts a specific way on a consistent level and you guys didn't see the red flags, and then it took a fucking big moment for you to be like, this person is trash. I'm like, you should have fucking see that like weeks ago. But what it tells me, and it's not and again, like, I'm getting fired up and talking about this as if I'm like passing judgment, but what it tells me, it is just inexperience. And that's all it is. It's inexperience with people. It's inexperience getting to know other people. Like, you can't take everything at face value. Yeah, being young.
That's a big one.
Being young is a part of it, but honestly, like, it really comes down to experience. Like, what have you experienced as an individual? Because there are people who are like 16, 17 that are really fucking smart and they know a lot about the world and how it works, right? But it's an experience level. That's why you have those like 65-year-old people who are in electronics stores shaking their cell phone in a plastic bag, like, I'll never get an iPhone or a smartphone. You know, like those people exist because they choose to do that. And the same thing can happen at any age. It's just an experience difference. And so when you are online and you're verified or have some sort of status as like a partner or whatever, you have a responsibility, whether you agree to or not. And this is like my perspective again, like my opinion. So feel free to disagree. But I feel like when you have that extra weight behind everything that you're doing, there is a filter that needs to be added to like what's not only going to benefit me, but what is the benefit for the person who's going to be viewing this content? And can they walk away from this and remember it? And is it something that like is filtered from my own experience, or is it regurgitated from somebody else? Because if it's already been said, that'll come up in Twitter all the time. You know what I mean? But like a conversation, an invitation to come in and talk with 3 people who like have a very passionate stance on like how feedback is given and social media is handled and human behavior, like that doesn't get to happen that often. It's mostly a one-sided conversation with people reacting. And that's it's just caveman shit. It's just a bunch of like yelling around something, but like nobody remembering anything until it's brought up again. You know what I mean? It's so fucking weird. It's just like these spikes in activity that happen, and people just remember that. They remember the spike, but not like the gray area or conversation around it. It's so weird.
I'm gonna say something that I think is probably gonna upset a lot of people.
You know what's funny? I was just thinking about something that was gonna upset a lot of people.
You wanna go first?
No, you go first.
You go first.
If you guys say it at the same time and it's the same thing, I'm gonna freak out.
I'll let you know if it's the same thing, but there's something
probably not. It's probably not. Because mine's like kind of like I'll say mine. I promise us. I want you to go first because mine's like a half-assed thought and a change of subject. So I want you to go first.
Okay, mine is like piggybacking off, and it's a little bit changed, but so relating back to both what you guys are saying. And this is just completely off the cuff. This is something that I haven't verbally said on Twitter. I haven't verbally said.
Hot takes, click buttons ready, baby.
Like this is something that I've only said to people in just private conversations. And it's something that really irks me. But I know that this is something that'll just like get sides of people going like crazy about it. So like if I were to say it on Twitter, it'd blow up for stupid reasons and probably misinterpreted. So I'll just tell you guys real quickly now. I feel like, let me preface it by saying, I think, you know, if you're making money off Twitch and that's something that you can do and you're profiting off like doing stuff like that and, you know, content creation and you're being able to do what you love, right on. I'm happy for you. I'm glad, you know? Now, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. People need money. It's a tool. Understandable. What I'm saying from this point, people focus a lot on the business aspect without actually being business people. Saying, hey, I want to be, you know, yeah, I'm trying to see Twitch as a business and doing this and that. I see that term thrown around a lot. But the thing is, there's a lot of people who are inexperienced with that concept. And then follow that up with a lot of people are trying to monetize things that shouldn't even deserve to be monetized. And when I was on Twitch starting out, I started out as a charity streamer. And oh man, this is really off the cuff.
No, go ahead, man. No, this is good.
You have a personal take here.
It's something off that I need to get off my chest a little bit because it's
hit it.
There's people that I've seen this happen to a lot, and that they're doing it and they're actively doing it. Some people I don't associate myself with who are doing it, that I'm seeing it kind of just develop into something that I'm not a fan of. I started off doing charity. I was doing a charity streamer primarily for mental health because mental health was one of those things that I did not see active on Twitch. It was all, you know, St. Jude's. It was like children's charities, and that's cool. That's fine. You know, like absolutely. That's all I've seen on the front page. You know, Doctors Without Borders, and all charity is good charity.
Right.
You know, I center around developing, you know, a community around trying to raise streamers up to be like, hey guys, you know, let's try to raise money for X. You know, like the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Let's try to raise money for disabled American veterans or Depression Bipolar Support Alliance. And I've kept relationships with those organizations and we've done so and stuff like that. However, there's been some people that I've noticed, especially on Twitter, some people that I don't even really like speak to, but I've been seeing it because I see retweets and likes and all this stuff that monetize or have been monetizing a lot of stuff relating to like, oh man, it's relating to a lot of things that are like mental health, and you're monetizing off of it.
Yeah.
And I feel
Can you give an example if you don't mind? I'm just curious because
that would be shots fired.
Okay.
I'm
because it's gonna get really off the cuff to that point, and I'm not trying. And the thing is,
so can you rather than like, I don't want you to like call anybody out or whatever, because obviously this is a touchy subject, but what the conversation portion, like for us to have a proper conversation, we need a specific example. So what in these, like when you say they're monetizing something related to mental health, what are you talking about?
Both on stream and on Twitter, they're monetizing not just necessarily like advice, but also monetizing this support
I know exactly
for about like mental health that
like, are you referring to like Alcoholics Anonymous, like a free thing that like
I know
you
exactly
could,
what you're talking
it could, yeah, like something similar to that, but in a monetized standpoint.
We've talked
which
about
would
this
prey
last time, didn't we?
which would prey on
You
like
and
people
me?
who are very in a like sensitive area or in a very distressing time, you know,
taking advantage of people that are clearly in distress,
yeah,
and putting a monetary price behind to pay
exactly.
Yeah, no, we're on the exact same page. I know exactly.
I've seen a lot of people in the
I think we're safe to talk about that too, by the way. Just for the.
Okay.
I think that's okay to talk about openly.
Yeah.
All right. So I just want to say it breaks my heart.
Everybody involved in that is an adult. So
yeah.
And like my thing is like I'm not trying to throw hate towards anyone.
I'm not. This is just a conversation around like what that means and like what are the implications of that and how that negatively affects people. So this is an example of negative. Yeah, it's not tea time. It is negative specific feedback about how the behavior has a negative impact on the community or people involved, and how going forward, if you were to continue that behavior, it is damaging to not only yourself but the people involved. Right?
I agree. Okay. And the thing is, it's like it breaks my heart because I've seen this community grow from when it was in its infancy, where these charities weren't getting the the popularity that they are now, and these communities were very, very small, and now they're becoming a bigger thing. I've even noticed some streamers hopping on the positivity train or the mental health train as a means to develop profit off of it and develop a business, and then they use the cop out that, hey, listen, Twitch is a business, this is this and that, but it's taken advantage of people who are in a very tough time in their lives and
Twitch
a very
is a platform.
Yeah, and I don't know, it breaks my heart seeing that stuff because
I agree.
There's people who keep throwing in the idea of this is a business, and they focus on the money aspect of it all, and that line gets skewed. Yes, it's a business. Yes, if you can make money and doing something you love and you're passionate about, right on. But if you're just doing it to try to just make a buck and then take advantage, that's where it kind of crosses that line where that's not necessarily acceptable. You know?
Well, that's why these conversations are important though, Bobo, because it's like a lot of people say this stuff, but they say it in 240 characters and it's all attacks towards people, and there's not like an actual conversation happening. So I understand what you're talking about, because it's like you have these people who are in these emotional or I've been using the word tumultuous a lot. I don't know why. It sounds cool. Second time. Tumultuous. It sounds nice.
It does. I like it.
Yeah. But so there's a lot of people who are impressionable young kids, and like I know what it was like to be 16. Can you use it in a sentence? Shut up. I just did. Shut up, Keon. But they live in a tumultuous time, and it's usually around their like teens. Like I remember listening to fucking Story of a Lonely Guy and looking out the window and like yeah, and fucking My Chemical Romance. Like I was Sad Boy 64 last week. That was like I embraced it. I just fell into that ocean of like emotions, and I was like, I know what I am.
Feel like it's raining outside.
Yeah, yeah, dude, shut up. You did that. That's why. 100%. Yeah.
I looked out the window, thinking, the There Is by Boxcar Racer.
Yeah, 100%.
I sang about the unkind white pills as a 13-year-old in the back of my mom's car.
Yeah, dude. Fucking
Yeah.
Ridiculous. It's just like we have a, again, like it's an educational thing, right? So there are people who like want to, and I think we can approach this again from the spot of, yes, there is a you can assume positive intent for the most part, but where you draw the line is when you start to monetize something that should be free access to anybody if you're truly trying to help, correct?
Yes. Absolutely. And
Right.
that's where my thing is that people get into that business aspect of Twitch, and it's fine too, and it's a healthy thing to try to like, and that's good. That's a healthy practice. But people get too caught up in that they start becoming a little bit on the scummy side of monetizing almost every single thing. And there's some
Sure.
things that I feel like you shouldn't monetize,
Yeah.
Obviously it deals with your brand and your channel, and you want to monetize, go for it,
Right. Like promotional material or like
Exactly.
advertising or whatever.
But
Yeah.
when it deals with something like mental health or profiting off, like, taking advantage is mainly not that profiting off, is more like taking advantage of. It's very scummy. And I've seen it develop to this thing where there's like a rally of people that are doing it. And I know that if I were to like speak out about it, it wouldn't be a discussion topic. It would be a hive mind argument with emotions tied behind it. And the thing is, it's like,
I know that feel more than ever.
like I keep saying it breaks my heart, because it really does, because I've seen this thing grow from the point of like infancy, this community grow, and it was such an amazing community that I the other day I told someone that, like, I'm a mental health advocate, and I speak about this stuff, and I try to help, like express my situation that I've went through, and I've lost people to suicide and a lot of this stuff, and I never want anyone to go through that again. And I always tell people to seek help when you absolutely need to, seek professional help.
Yeah.
If you know someone's in distress, if you're going through distress, and that's ideally one of the things that I've always mentioned. There's a time that I mentioned that I'm a mental health advocate, and I speak about this, and it has basically now a negative connotation to it as a
Right.
streamer. And I never remember it being that way. And that's where it kind of like, it cut deep.
That way. Yeah, that sucks.
Well, it hurts, dude. It hurts because you used to, like, to you, the definition of that is still very much like what it used to be. It's not, and you're talking about like a tribal mentality. So like the loudest voices in the room are the people who have the biggest problems with it and will like, fucking yell about it, and they don't necessarily have a way of discussing it in a way where like there's no, it's not that emotion can't be involved, but it's approached from an emotional standpoint and somebody who's hurt or has had an experience. And you got to remember that some of these voices too, a lot of it has to do with just like the hurt, coming through. Like, how could you not be upset if you've been through a terrible situation and you have this person who, is, like you're saying, like, if you feel like you're being taken advantage of, that's the part that comes forward, that emotional hurt, like that point of like betrayal, that stuff. It's a hard spot to be like talked to from. Sometimes you just need to wait for it to blow over and then just reapproach it, you know what I mean? And like these takes, like the hard part too is like you're also swept up in the momentum of doing your channel, so like for you to stop every time and address it, that's tough. That's a tough thing to do. But I don't know, man. The more these conversations happen and the more people talk about these sort of things, like you can point to like, this is a good spot for you to go find help. And I don't really need to say any more than that. I've talked about this a lot, It's weird. Like people have even labeled me like a mental health streamer when I talk about MAPS, like the charity that we do all the time. And like, I don't like the first thing I do every time somebody comes in and they're asking for advice is like, I'm not a therapist. I don't know anything professionally. All I do is speak from my life experience, and that's all I can share with you. And that's it. Like if you need further help, like there's resources out there.
Trained professionals, right? And there's even Twitch has a resource as well that has a whole bunch of links.
Yeah, you can like link to it.
Oh, you cut out really bad at the end. Twitch has a resource, and then
Twitch has a resource is like called Twitch Help, and they have like a lot of links for like that are international as well for seeking professional help on distressing times. If you feel like you're under distress, you might hurt yourself or hurt others. they're 24-hour hotlines and also live chats if you don't want to call in. And these things are accessible to people, but man, it's tough, man. It's really tough. And I would like to verbally say that if like anybody's like in that category, feels like they're in that category, or they feel that I'm wrong about thinking this way, I would like to have a discussion with them, like one-on-one about it personally.
Yeah.
I want it outside of Twitter. I want it outside of like, hey, let's monetize this and put this on a live stream, or hey, let's put this on Twitter so we can have like a whole bunch of people echo chambering exactly what I'm saying. I want to be able to see, hey, if I'm wrong, if I'm in the wrong,
it's unsafe.
Yeah. But like, I want to know if I'm wrong in the situation. I want to be told, hey, this is what I think that you might be wrong, and you might be right. Maybe I'm seeing it in a completely different aspect that I don't understand. And I would like to kind of talk about it. And see where it's coming from, because on what I've been seeing and what I've been experiencing, it's not that. It seems like people are being
predatory.
Yes, and that's where it ultimately breaks my heart. And
there's a lot of
people
fucking
with the business, that
well,
business mentality.
It's
without even knowing business.
The best analogy that I can think of, like when you're talking about this, is like the same thing with like jocks or nerds or like people who smoke weed, like stoners. Right? So like stoner, the term stoner, like if somebody asks if you smoke pot or cannabis and you say yes, so like, what are you, a fucking stoner? Like you automatically think of duh, blah, blah.
It's like millennial, right?
Yeah.
Like millennial too.
Yeah, millennial.
Like a slur.
Oh, you're going to have some, avocado toast, or it's like Scott, like you automatically think of an asshole.
Like millennials are now becoming a slur, and like it's weird because it's just supposed to categorize a generation,
right?
And I mean, the same thing happened kind of with like baby boomers as well, know, like, and it's just like, just to categorize a generation. But I don't know, it blows my mind, and I feel like that is coming into the same connotation for mental health advocates or mental health streamers, even though oh man, not everybody's doing that same stuff.
Right.
But it just breaks my heart, and I wanted to get it off my chest. And I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus. Odds are people already know who I'm talking about without even mentioning it. And the people who may be watching or know that they're doing it know exactly that I'm talking about them. So,
dude, yeah. So I know you're not like, and please correct me if I'm wrong, because I am making assumptions here. That you're not huge on Twitter and making Twitter like you're a big social media person. Like, or like, do you like use Twitter a lot? Do you feel like you use Twitter a lot?
I use Twitter less as a content creator, more as a viewer of like seeing people's tweets.
Okay.
I like Twitter as more of a thing to kind of interact. I'm one of those streamers that are just kind of like, hey, here's a picture of my dog. Hey, we're going live. Hey, we're not going live. Very basic. People kind of joke around about that.
You don't consider yourself outspoken or anything like that?
I mean, the most that I'll do is if like if we're gonna talk about anything, I'll probably just try to talk to you guys on Discord. And that's why that's there.
Okay.
Twitter, I could care less about, but a lot of my friends are on Twitter, and a lot of people that I associate myself with. So I'll talk to them, and I'll look at tweets, and I'll read what's going on, and I see it. As a person looking in, as a viewer, so to speak, you see this stuff. And,
The reason I ask that is I've found, as someone that does like, I voice my opinion a lot about these kind of things, whether it be on stream or other people's streams or on Twitter. I am more selective about what I voice on Twitter than I am on stream, just for the principle of how Twitter is and how people communicate there. I've found that in these situations that you're referring to, where people are like, you're beat around the bush a little bit, you're afraid to speak about it. I've found that if you have a clear, concise, and specific opinion that you clearly have thought out and put some time into, and you're able to express that opinion in the way that it is intended to be expressed, i.e. not on Twitter, you're fine. I think that I've found that I don't need to worry so much when I address specific people or specific instances or drama, if you will, just because I have taken the time to understand the whole situation, and I can speak about it in a nuanced way that isn't 240 characters. I don't know if that offer helps you at all, or like any of us or anyone in chat, but like,
one of the things that
I'm afraid to talk about this shit, that's how I am.
I guess it's the reason why I'm more not necessarily afraid to talk about it, but hesitant is because the things that are misunderstood. And I would prefer to have the person in the conversation talking about them
that's
than
good.
not having them here, because then the lines get skewed.
Yeah.
A lot of assumptions are made. You
Yeah,
don't give them the
exactly.
chance to
Yeah.
do a rebuttal. It
Right.
becomes a bigger thing. Drama.
It's not a
ensues,
discussion.
Right?
You're talking
That's
about
a very
drama.
mature
Yeah.
viewpoint. I like
So,
that.
I never like to name names because
And I
it
kind
just
of
doesn't make
assumed-
sense. You know.
I kind of assumed that like everything that's said here, say for example that like our conversation was clipped and said to the said person, I would fully expect them to say they're upset and they speak up about it. I would fully expect like there to be a discourse surrounding that. If there was ever to be, I guess this specific situation, if we're on the same page about the whole conversation, I just personally feel that there would be a conversation regarding that. You know what I mean? I feel like because the three of us are, one, people like us. I'm just being real. Like, we're not assholes. Two, like,
Fuck you guys.
we know how to put together a good opinion and speak on an issue. I find that if that's what you do, if you can put together a clean opinion, right, and then you can voice that opinion, regardless of how that person reacts, the majority of people, of rational human beings, will see that you've just voiced an opinion. You're not being offensive. You're not being an asshole. You're just having a conversation. And it took me a long time to realize that, and now that I kind of feel that, I'm less afraid to talk about things publicly. Like, if there are situations that happen to me, I'll give my full, like, you know, like, I don't know, it's like I've changed, so to speak, in that regard, where I've stopped caring about the blowback, if there's going to be any.
Yeah, well, you don't. You kind of expressed that before though, Kyle, because you're like, I don't fucking care.
I just don't care. Yeah, and I am biased in that situation because, like,
because you don't care.
I don't care.
Well, you would care, like, if it was like me or Bobo, but that would never happen because we're rational human beings.
And the people that I care about their opinions and the way that they think of me are going to know that even if they disagree, I have a very specific point that I've thought about. I'm not just being a dick. Right?
Yeah. That makes sense.
It's one of those things that, like, the things that I mention or I'll talk about, I do care. And absolutely. I do, even if the person I don't know, I still it's not that I don't care, it's just that I kind of respect the fact that I would rather talk to the person directly. Out of
well, I guess I have a question for that, because like this is your first time talking about it. I would assume, like, in a public quote unquote scenario. Have you reached out to that person at all?
Well, the thing is, this goes back to like unsolicited advice area, that gray area, so to speak.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just one, it's multiple people.
Right. Well, what I'm saying is, like, you ask.
No.
Oh,
So
okay.
like,
okay, that makes sense.
So I don't personally know them. They don't know me. Imagine me reaching out saying, "Hey, let's have a discussion about this thing."
It's weird.
Like, who the fuck are you?
It's weird.
Right. No, you're talking about the rapport. There's no rapport there. So, like, how would you...
Exactly.
Like, ironically, in that situation, it would be more appropriate to, like, quote retweet the person. Like, it's such a strange. That's so strange to me to think about. You can do two things there. You can, like, reply and say, "Hey, I think this is a bad idea." You can quote retweet and say, "Hey, I think this is a bad idea," or you can do nothing. Like, there's no, like, appropriate way to address
but
that.
Then that goes back to voicing it in a public, medium, where it's like, hey,
but
we could have discussed this privately in DMs.
But to, like, raise your hand on it, like, in terms of what it is, if it's completely blatant predatory behavior that you're seeing on a public forum that they are putting out publicly, it should be spoken out against, because as somebody who has a stance and has somebody who's obviously thought about this in a very really well thought out way and is not disrespectful, like, you can be that person to do that, because you are what you would consider, it is scary. It 100% is, because you have possibly a legion of people who will, like, follow this person to the ends of the earth because of the whole situation or whatever. Right. That's the scary part. The other part is too, like, what is the blowback for you? Like, as a mental health streamer, what happens? Well, first they go through all of your tweets. You know what I mean? That's the first thing. Yeah. And that's scary.
Not finding anything good, right. Everything there is just, hey, here's my dog. Here's some guinea pigs.
Yeah,
hey, I'm going live.
But
you go through my tweets. There's gonna be several hot takes that have aged poorly.
100%. Yeah, dude. Like, what you can see is like, well, this happened 10 years ago. It's like, dude, fuck you. Also, I wasn't even a sane person. You know,
In
so
the
it's
words
like,
of Dave Chappelle, I don't care how long ago it was. I don't care when you did it. I don't care what it meant or what the context around what is. But when I find it, you're fucking done.
yeah, yeah, that whole stand up was fucking great. But yeah, I mean, when it comes down to it, like if it's blatantly predatorial and it's a history of being predatorial, like it's not even just I want you guys to know that like these are free resources. You do not need to pay for, you know, this situation, however you want to do it. And it's all based on your comfortability level. All I'm saying is you can do whatever you want in terms of comfortability. Like everybody else who is your friend and knows the kind of mental health streamer you are is going to back you up, dude. Like I would 100%.
Easy peasy.
Easy.
Yeah, but it's also the thing where there's one rule that I always wanted, that I always told myself to follow, and it's like kind of like my own code of conduct. And it's do whatever you can to not get into any drama, whether you're the cause of it, the catalyst, or you see it and you want to say something. Try your best not to get that. I'm like, my thing is, I come on Twitch not to be, you know, a drama streamer or to do those type of things. You know, I just come on Twitch and to stream just to, you know, have fun and you know, just have conversations and hang out with my friends.
Yeah,
that's it.
So
you know?
I'll challenge that with I guess it really depends on what your definition of drama is, because disagreeing with somebody, even an action, that's not drama. That's disagreeing with someone. It becomes drama whenever the person retaliates and gets petty, or there's shit being slung. You know, like once it gets dirty, then I feel like it turns into drama. Before then, it's just a conversation. It's just a conversation.
But how many times have things in a perfect world, it'll be a conversation.
So, but here's the thing, right? Like,
yeah, you go first, Kyle.
We can tailor our own experiences on social media. I speak out about a lot of shit that like upsets me on social media. I will say, I don't like this. I think it's stupid for X, Y, and Z reasons. People will respond to me with like shitty things. I just don't respond to those people. I don't talk to those people. I don't engage those people. People will come and say, I disagree with you because of these reasons. I engage with those people. I say, oh, that's interesting. I didn't think of that perspective. Or here's why I disagree with that perspective. Like it's sure people are gonna sling shit, but like I have the ability and power to not engage that. So I won't.
Right. Because you initiated the conversation. So it's like when I say initiated the conversation, you had brought a point, and then people respond, right?
It's not like I'm not slinging shit. I'm talking about it.
Right, exactly. And so the perception of who's slinging shit, quote unquote, is based on the emotional state of the person responding. Right? So like if it's coming out as shouting or pompous or whatever, it honestly, most of it is text. So it's entirely dependent on the person's mood, which is completely unfair for like most of
everybody involved.
Right. And so when you're talking about these things, again, like it's always approached in a comfortable state, and obviously the most comfortable space for you to be doing these sort of conversations is in a space like this, like a discussion around these things. So maybe Twitter may not be the best thing,
which Twitter's not good for.
Right.
That should be noted. And it should also be noted that Bobo is completely within his rights and within his, like, he does not have to explain himself for not speaking about certain things. Like that's also very valid and totally okay.
Well,
and
it's not that like I don't want to speak about it, and it's not that like I'm afraid. Like
I don't mean to judge you.
No, you're good. You're good. But it's not. I'm not afraid of it. I'm not afraid of the confrontation.
Sorry, I shouldn't have said that.
No, you're good.
I feel bad. I painted your picture for you.
No.
Okay. No, because you're hitting it on the nail. Like you're right. I'm in my right not to like speak about it, because like I don't have to if I don't want to, because I came on the platform to do one thing only.
To do that.
Exactly. It's just more like, I guess, my New York Puerto Rican side of me that I would rather tell you directly than just kind of subtweet, retweet, and just. I would rather have that
respectful about that, man. And honestly, me personally, if I was to ever step out of line, I would expect my peers to come to me and say no. You know what I mean? Like I would expect them to slide in my DMs or even publicly. I have no problems either way. I would expect people to tell me no.
Yeah, you know? But then another thing is, if like putting it on like a public forum like Twitter, it gets to this thing where you have not just one-on-one conversations with people, a discussion, or even if it escalates to an argument, it becomes a multi-argument, multi-discussion thing that is very hard to keep up with too.
Yeah.
So you'll end up like, if it's just us three talking, it'll just be a three-way conversation. But if you do it on Twitter, it blows up. Now you have like 1,000 conversations about the same thing with all varying views. And
dude,
now
I run into
it's
that
a
all the
whole
time.
thing. It becomes that's one of the things that I feel like you don't get anywhere. You just can't.
I agree.
It's impossible.
And you're
that's why-
restating your point like 17 times to 17 different people. I've
Right.
been
and
there.
everyone
It's not
views it
fun.
differently,
Yeah,
and
it's
everyone
not
has
fun.
different
Yeah,
views on it.
it's
And
not
then
fun.
it's exhausting. And
It's exhausting, and it's not
you could
healthy.
have just nipped it in the bud by just going straight to the person, just
person.
saying, "Hey, listen, this is it."
Right.
That's a
But
good
then
perspective.
you fall back on then the thing again is like, what if I don't have that rapport with that person? Now it's just like, yo, who the hell are you to come in here? So it's just like a
Exactly.
vicious cycle, you know?
Well, so like
Yeah.
a hard part is like what you're talking about is trying to find the threshold in which you can cross to like bridge the gap between not having rapport and having an opinion on something. And when it comes down to I was in the same boat with this too. And me and Kyle had like, we discussed this over DMs about like the whole Godvax situation like a while back. I was like, I want to make a video about this shit. And he's like, yeah, I mean, I would watch that. And then like he's like, maybe you don't want to do that. Like there's just this like threshold you may not want to cross. And if you really think about it, like what's the reason behind it and does it benefit anybody? And so the main
Like,
benefit,
do you really want to get into the shit? Like,
Right.
is that really what you want to do?
right?
You got to prepare for that stuff.
Right.
too.
Right,
You get in
exactly.
there,
Well, like,
you gotta
what's-
go in
There's gonna
mentally
be a
ready.
response.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so like the big response like that I was weighing for those couple days was, if I make a video, is it for me or is it for the people that are involved? Like, is it bigger than
Yeah.
me? It's bigger than me. Okay, so
Right.
what's the weight here? Is there anything that I would gain out of it? And if it's nothing, then I should do it. I shouldn't gain anything from this by bringing attention to it, right? Because
Absolutely.
Mhm.
the way I try to think about this thing is a Futurama quote from when Bender is like God for a few days in the galaxy or whatever. It's when you do things right, people will assume you haven't done anything at all.
I
Right,
love
alright.
that episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that line.
I work
Yeah.
in technology. That's my motto.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, you need to have that motto in technology. Like, if you're doing things right, people don't even know you're doing anything. You know, it's like
Yeah.
it's a great episode. It's a great like mantra, if you will. But if that threshold is I'm going to benefit from doing this, like
Mhm.
even monetarily, then there's that ego part of it, and it's like this really isn't for me. Like, or this really
Mhm.
isn't for everyone that I want to help out. You know what I mean? How can I help these people without putting myself in the limelight or like throwing shit on somebody's face or bringing attention to
Yeah.
something that I think is predatory? Well, you can quietly do whatever you need to outside of that by doing charity streams or talking about it in this conversation without
have
any
to.
context, but people know what you're talking about because we see it. It's prevalent on the platform. You know what I mean? So,
You know what I've been
yeah.
doing? My thing is that I've just been holding my own ground
yes.
and doing the same thing that I've been doing 4 years ago and just trying to keep doing the same exact thing, talking about the exact same thing, not changing anything from fact, and trying to make that the norm and make that the same thing where, the community that we're in, that's what we're going with. And, we're small and growing, but hopefully that'll end up being the majority. And then everything else that's happening where it's becoming predatory and being taking like advantage of people becomes in the minority that it just gets
Hell
drowned
yeah.
out. So that's
how you
my
do it.
tactic.
How you
That's
do it.
what my tactic's been, and it's a very non-confrontational tactic, but
But it's a tactic
very-
nonetheless.
it's a
It's
No,
very
but you're making a
slow-
difference. You're
but
making an
it's
impression on people.
very
Like,
slow
Right.
tactic, though,
but it's a
you know?
strong tactic because what you're doing is you're talking about going against the grain, right, of what people have in terms of expectations. And the weird thing about this predatory shit that you're talking about is it is prevalent, but not by a whole lot. It's just loud right
Mhm.
now because everybody knows about it and is very upset about it,
Right.
as they should be, right? But once that blows over or whatever, and the people that are left over policing this community of mental health streamers, they're going to find the people who are consistent and have been standing strong and can voice confidence into why they do what they do, and you're one of those people. So
Mhm.
even though you're not, I guess, bringing the like throwing shit on people's face and like all that other stuff, you are
Yeah.
still standing your ground through all of the shit, and so you're not being
Yeah.
discouraged by what's happening outside of what you would consider and what you would say is very helpful for people, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have
And
a
that's
voice
fucking
by
great,
action and
dude.
stance.
That's-
That's like honestly what you're doing is like even better and holds more value than people speaking out about something. In my
Yeah.
own personal opinions, actually doing
Yes.
something obviously speaks way louder than words. Like that's
Mhm.
if anything, man, I agree with you.
It's just a matter of like how you're gonna pull the band-aid off. Are you gonna take it slowly, or are you gonna just go for the whole thing and then
Yeah.
deal
Yeah,
with the
how are you gonna
consequences
attack the
after?
problem, right? With the
Yeah, and
with the
it's
chisel
always
or with a hammer. Like what's
yeah,
the
and you don't know what the right answer is until you're doing it. And
And I believe at
that
certain points, like in the beginning of a statue, right? Both are valid. You can start chiseling, you can hammer. Like if you have a big enough problem in front of you, both of those will work for the time being. Like
yeah.
you know what I'm saying when I say that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you just
It's
kind of
it's
like if a new thing comes up, you kind of just tackle it then. But
Well,
for
the
now, it's working. But
Right.
I like the analogy because what you're talking about is regardless of what tool you're using, the skill is still a
Yes.
huge part of it, right?
Mhm.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I guess this
'Cause
comes
after a
back to
certain
like
point, you got to start chiseling to get more detailed. You can't
Right.
be smacking anymore. You can't be throwing big statements
right.
out there.
Sometimes you do need. Sometimes you need a few smacks. Like
Right.
I don't
You
know.
know-
Sometimes
That's
you
part
need
of it. Yeah.
sometimes you need some chicken in the microwave for 45
Yeah,
minutes.
Yeah.
you know that there was no, this is a direct quote for somebody, but I'm still not going to name their names.
Sure.
Um, there was a
Punches
person
this
who
into Google. Sorry.
punches into Google to look up the tweet.
Yeah.
There was somebody who I even spoken to before, so this is someone I know. And I disagree with the whole statement that they said, but they said that they no longer want to be kind of like a negative or like a shock streamer where it's kind of like kind of like Dr. Disrespect style where you're like you're getting like angry about this, you're calling people
Yeah.
names, all this stuff. They said, I feel like you grow better as a positivity streamer, so I'm gonna start being a positivity streamer. I'm
What
like,
does that even
dude,
mean?
that's you can't just be an ass.
We
and
just
then
had a whole
say, "You know what,
conversation
I'm gonna
about
be-"
that. We just had a whole
Yeah.
conversation about how
Yeah.
generic positivity doesn't help anybody.
Yeah, and they're using it as like,
Gothics. Of course you did.
Gothic's got her hand on the fucking pulse
oh,
though,
rip, I saw that tweet.
100%.
Oh well,
We
damn,
all
well,
do. We all do. Yeah.
I
But-
don't. I
Tough
fucking don't
boys.
know. I want to know. Can I know?
There's if you find the links, I mean,
Somebody
go for it.
message me, dog.
But the thing is that it's that thing where it's like, yeah, I'm gonna be a positive streamer because it helps my business.
You know what?
Like, dude, just don't be an asshole. Like, why is
Are you?
just stop throwing around the word positivity streamer or and business when you don't know shit about it. It's just why.
Familiar with my friend Digital Main. I know you are, Konky. You know. my
Digi,
friend
yeah, he's fucking
Yeah, you know
great.
Digi. Digi is not a positivity streamer, nor is he negative. He calls himself a hashtag almost positive, not so negative streamer, is what he calls himself. He's just like, I just talk about shit. Like,
Oh,
yeah.
Hold on, I wanna. I saw this earlier. Cubos asked a question.
Mhm.
So, but if you don't get into the shit sometimes, do people really know where you stand on issues that you feel you need to take a stand on? Do you want people to know what issues you take a personal stand on? I think that's important. Like, that's a really good question, but we kind of answered that. I think you probably answered that or asked that in the start of the conversation we just had, but it's
Probably. I
really
think
just
we did.
conversation.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
you talked about
And then-
what you
and then
talked about
another
how
thing
what you
too.
do.
Another thing is also saying like you don't really have like like it's not your responsibility to have stances on things too. Like whether you have a
Right,
stance on it or not, it's not your responsibility to get into the shit.
The person that decides whether or not
Mhm.
someone should care about what I think is me. Like that. Like
Yeah.
that's the start and the end is I decide what I share with other people.
Mhm. But
And I
it's one of
decide
those
how much it
things, yeah.
matters. You know,
Right.
like,
Yeah, it's a very finicky topic to kind of go into because it's like, do you want to go in and voice your opinion? Is your opinion even going to get heard? What's the backlash? And
Right,
then
right.
you also go back and say, hey, listen, I also do have a brand and I do have, like some developers here and some people that follow me that I don't want them to have like a skewed opinion of me if something goes wrong or if I'm incorrect about this or if I'm on the wrong side of it. Like it's one of those things that can affect you in the long term. Is it something you want to do? It all depends on the whole scenario, but you're no way,
have-
shape, or form responsible to get into the shit of it all.
I have a really interesting anecdote about being opinionated and having developers follow you.
Yeah.
I I consider myself kind of like a business centric Twitch person. I'm not necessarily a streamer. I'm a content creator, and I host for a company. Like I represent another company's brand on Twitter as well as like on their stream, and kind of whenever they first started talking to me, I had to be like, hey, I want to let you know, like, I talk about a lot of shit on Twitter. Like, I'm not edgy in the sense that I'm making things to just upset people, but I will disagree with the common opinion. Like, I was like, I want to make it clear that like I'm always about having a discourse, and like that may mean that like your brand is connected to an opinion you guys don't agree with. And I was fortunate enough at the time for them to say, yeah, that's fine. We don't care. We're a pretty progressive company, etc. Right? But like me being so opinionated, me having opinions that I do can lead to me not forming connections with people. It can negatively impact me if I am not careful about how I voice or how I stand up for something. It's kind of a slippery slope and a tightrope you have to walk as a content creator of like, yes, I want my opinion to be heard and I have this platform and I personally feel that I have a responsibility to speak about things. But at the same time, I have to juggle that with like, I can't be annoying and I don't want people to think I'm some crazy, like I'm still a personality that has to make connections and is a public figure and represents people's brands. Like, so like it's a very fine line you have to walk to kind of like, I guess you really what it is you have to be educated. You have to know what you're talking about. You
Right.
can't just
You can't go and have
sling an
cock,
opinion. Right.
Right.
Yeah, gotta be fully torqued if you're gonna if you're gonna be hitting
Yeah.
the Twitter with an opinion.
Because whatever you're doing, that's on there forever. Because even if you delete it,
Absolutely.
screenshotted, there's websites that pull up deleted tweets
The
anyway. So
recipients, bro. They're gonna get you with the recipients.
exactly. Whatever you post on
Recipients.
there,
God
it's
damn.
permanent. It has your name attached to it. You want to make sure whatever you have your name to, that it's your best and it is 100% you and you stand by it. And if you already put it out there, might as well stand with it. Hey, if you messed up, but own up to it.
Own up to it.
Like
Yeah.
there's nothing else you can do about it. It's on there. It's tough.
Yep.
Like
I used to make a lot of stupid tweets, but I've really gotten good at like typing something out. And if I don't want to say it, I'll just delete it. Right? Like the habit of like saying the thing and then deleting it. Like I've gotten really good at that. And it feels good to finally be at a point whenever I make a tweet to be able to like stand on a stage and put it on the screen and be like, "This is mine." You know what I mean? Like you're not ashamed of it. Like it's kind of nice.
I put pickles and peanut butter on crackers. That's me right there.
Good. Fuck your opinions,
Go fuck
all
yourself.
That's the deal.
Like, Kyle, I disagree with you so much.
Have you tried it? Then shut the fuck up,
what?
Bobo.
I'm not gonna try
Bobo.
it. Tried pickles, and I don't like pickles whatsoever.
Okay.
They're
here's the thing.
They're
That's okay. I respect your decision to dislike pickles. I will not respect people's decisions to say, "Oh, pickles and peanut butter is weird, therefore it's not good."
You know what I'm gonna do?
I'm gonna try.
I'm gonna try it, right? And then I'm gonna call you again.
Yeah, dude.
When I try
if you
it,
don't
I'll
like
be like,
pickles,
"This is."
that's fine. It's okay.
I despise pickles.
Yeah, you
It's
don't
just
have to justify your dislike of pickles to me. Like that's okay.
the texture or how slimy is just. It's just.
But when people
throwing
have
a
texture
peanut
problems,
nutty-
like I'm not gonna say those aren't valid. What bothers me the most is when people like disagree with that inherently on the fact because it's weird. Like sushi's weird, but you eat that. Like shut up. Like
but I mean that's sushi. I don't know. This is the one thing that I'll be like,
man, I'll eat that raw fish. Let me slurp it right up. That uncooked raw, straight from the river fish. Let me slurp it right up. But you put a pickle on my peanut butter, bro. We ain't talking. We're done.
Yeah, that's how it is.
Stop it.
That's how it is.
I'm thinking about like how peanut butter tastes and how pickles taste, and I can't.
It's clashing, right?
Listen,
Well, no.
It's not
that it clashes. I'm just thinking about the salt
dill pickles
content. Oh, dill.
Yeah.
Wait, so you do
Dill
sweet
pickle.
and salty peanut butter? Sweet
So,
pickles.
It's a dill pickle with like smooth peanut butter.
All right.
Okay, but peanut butter is inherently just like the way I would explain it is like salty, savory.
Yeah.
Okay, and dill pickles are sweet, correct?
Dill pickles are salty. They're like vinegary.
So vinegary and salty and savory. I don't know.
works,
I'll have to
dude.
try it.
It works, man. It's so peanut butter is actually way sweeter than people. There's a lot of sugar in peanut butter. So
Well,
like
it depends on
that-
what kind you have. Jiffy for sure. Yeah.
Right. And that's what I'm saying whenever I say like peanut butter. I'm talking like peanut butter sandwich peanut butter. I'm not talking like fresh Trader Joe's, no sugar added peanut butter.
That's what
right?
I get. I like
Get
that
out-
shit.
Bro, come on, get out of here with that.
I literally eat spoons of that. That's
I know,
great.
it's so good.
How about
It's so good.
this? Here's are you going to Twitch Chicago Konky?
Yeah. I told Jappa if you guys are gonna be coming out because she was worried about the snow. I was like, "Yo, you guys got a place to stay for free if you."
Konky's a nice guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
But
guys
that
ever end up
proposes
in
my next
Pittsburgh?
question. That
gotta-
proposes my next question. Video us eating peanut butter pickle crackers
I'll do it.
for this man.
I'll do it
right
for the
here.
memes.
And do it for the memes. I was just gonna do it and then be like, all right, you know, Kyle, this is still gross. I don't like.
Yeah, it's just gonna be a privite video. Nobody gets to see that shit on Twitter.
No one-
Fuck you
yeah,
guys.
because I have a really sensitive gag reflex, so I might really like start gagging.
That's
Right.
fine.
I
Me
wanna
too.
make it clear-
I
I
can't
wanna
like
make it
have mushy
perfectly
food.
clear
That's not.
that
Huh?
I have no problem with someone disliking a specific texture, a specific item. I have no problems with that. And if you choose to not eat the combination based on any of those factors, okay, that's okay. It's
I'm
when
still
people,
gonna try it just for you
Yeah.
because you called me
It's
out.
when people like pickles and they like peanut butter, and then they're like, "But you put them together, no, it's gross." Shut up and eat it. Like it's decent, and you should try it. Like
Those are the
Don't
same
judge
people
it
who
till you
don't like
have.
vegetables. You know, they're like, I don't eat vegetables. I'm like, you're a bitch. All right.
you don't like vegetables because your mom boiled them. Let me make you some
100%.
vegetables, bro.
Literally,
Like,
that's like anytime I've said that in a Twitch chat, we're like, oh, I don't eat vegetables, blah blah blah. I'm like, literally, it's because your parents suck at cooking. Like,
Damn.
I'm not joking. It's literally
my
that was
face.
my
I thought-
life for like when I was
thought the gloves
15,
were off for
14.
me.
Yeah,
Yo, Konky out here calling out people's parents.
dude,
Ooh,
this
dude,
is
I'm
the- this
saying.
is-
Parents don't
zoom
know how
in
to
on my
cook.
face real quick. This is the big one for me. This is
Yeah.
the big one.
Oh my god, I don't like water. I don't like the. Fuck you. You
don't
need that
like
to
water?
live, dude.
Cubos, are you being serious right now? Because I'm
don't
gonna
like
go
water
off.
because of the.
No.
I'm gonna go off on you.
He's kidding.
Okay,
He's
good.
kidding.
I was gonna say I would go the fuck off on someone that says they don't like water. Like,
Oh
Oh,
god.
shut up.
I'm about to. I literally my butt clenched. I was ready to jump. You know.
Hydro homies, we're ready to fucking fight.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Oh my
Like-
God.
I learned
dude.
so much from Hydro Homies. Let me just say, dude, for real. If you guys aren't doing, if you're not on Hydro Homies on Reddit, if you aren't on Reddit at all, Hydro Homies is the subreddit. I used to pound water. Like they'd be like, oh, you didn't drink. You should have been drinking this much water. So they'd be like, okay, I'm gonna drink 32 ounces of water. And then I was like, I started getting into Hydro Homies because of the memes, and they were like,
It's
here are the
actually-
rules for hydration. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
extremely informational. They're like, here are the rules for hydration. Your body processes 8 ounces of water every 15 minutes. If you are peeing more than like the time frame you are consuming water, you are drinking too much within a short time frame. And I was like, how did I not, as a person who loves science, not know that?
right?
I'm such a stupid
Wow.
bitch. You know, like I didn't even know. I was just like, oh, I gotta make up for lost time, drink it all and lose it all at the same time. It was terrible.
You know that when I went to Disney with Jap and her, they were getting on me for like drinking like so much water. I would go up and get like 40 water cups from like when we were in a restaurant at Disney, and I was just like
water cup,
drinking.
I love that we've done that so many times tonight. The 4-cup carry. Where you-
Yeah. That's a technique, dude.
like it's the 2 cups, right? And you
Yeah.
they're just- they were getting on me like, man, you guys just drink so much water. Where does he put it on? Like, just I don't know. My body just wants water, so I get it. Speaking of which, now I'm even more thirsty right now, and I need some
Mhm.
water. But
Yeah.
it's like I don't get it how people cannot like water. It blows my mind.
It's because they're
Like, be like-
children. They're just
They're like, I like
inexperienced.
only
Sugar.
sugar water,
yeah.
like vitamin water. Like,
I was
That's so
gonna say
much
this
sugar,
earlier.
dude. Yeah, go
I was
ahead.
gonna say this earlier is liking chicken nuggets and mac and cheese is no longer a personality trait. Like,
No.
you can't be saying that you're just a picky eater. No, you're stubborn is what you are.
Yeah, you're
Like,
stubborn and your parents cooked you trash and you don't
if
know.
you're a picky
Yo,
eater, you're a burden to everybody
yo, yo,
involved.
yo,
I'm
yo,
just gonna
hold
be
on.
straight up with you.
yo, hold on. I'm a picky eater, but only because I'm allergic to ketchup.
Dude, that's not the same. That
that's
is not,
not
the
the
same.
same.
People
Yeah,
call me a picky
no.
eater. That I normally like go and
What?
say, hey, can
You
I-
literally
you'll
have a
die.
food restriction
You'll
or you
literally
die.
Yeah, yeah.
I get like I don't know what it is. We're still trying to figure it out, but I'll get hives here, and then it'll go on this hand too, and then eventually it goes up.
From
And-
random shit.
It deals with something in ketchup and some things in like some Chinese food, which is why at PF Chang's when I was
Right.
on the day
You
with
had
Jabba,
the
I
hives.
ate something. I was like, oh, well, I guess I ate something I'm allergic to.
Okay.
In small amounts, it just goes up my arm and it gets really like itchy. It's like
Right.
very small dots, and I hate it.
How many times does
Basically
it happen to you though? Because if it happens again, it could get worse. Allergic reaction.
It
terrible. Like,
happens.
that's-
It happens. I just avoid it like the plague. But when it happens, if it's in small like bursts, I kind of stop what I'm doing, and I was like, all right, let me not continue eating whatever this is because I don't know what's giving me an allergic reaction. Last time I went to the allergist, they like stuck me with a whole bunch of needles to see what I'm allergic to. My arm slowly swelled up, and I found that I was allergic to the goat and the German cockroach, but that did not help me.
Whoa.
Goat.
The goat and the German cockroach.
Wait, the goat? Like, who's the goat?
The goat, as in like the greatest of all time.
I guess. I mean, whoever that
Talking
is.
about Kanye coming over.
Yeah,
I
dude.
guess I'm allergic to Kanye.
Ah!
No.
Kanye, no, get away. No.
I'm allergic to Kanye, dog. I can't listen to it.
Oh, I love power so much. for
Yeah,
God's sake.
it's so I'm so itchy. Oh my god.
It's the goat. The reason why I call it the goat is because it was listed on the sheet. It says I'm allergic to the German cockroach and the goat, and I was like, the goat,
Like goat meat, like goat
Which
milk.
one? Which one is the goat?
I don't know.
It just
They didn't
said
say
the
it was
goat?
meat. I'm not eating German cockroaches.
Dude, you should have asked them, man. That's a really ambiguous question. The
Wait,
goat
no,
could be like
Here's how it works. Hi,
You can-
yeah, the lamb or the lamb on your menu. Yes, is that the goat or is it a goat? Which?
Well, I know we're on the topic on food, so like I wanna like address this because this is a huge topic I think for all of us. The work-life balance portion of all this, because I think like diet and exercise and
Oh,
food and
yeah.
life,
You're
like
gonna hate me. right
I'm not
now.
gonna hate anybody, dude. This is a discussion, okay?
What you're gonna do, Bobo, is you're gonna share your experience, and we're
You're
gonna
gonna-
listen to it.
Yeah, and we're gonna
We're
very
gonna-
passionately explain to you why
We're
you're
gonna
wrong.
share-
You're all gonna be very disappointed with find out my
But yeah, so like I want to touch base on this because far too often things, and I know that me and Kyle have this because Kyle thinks he has ADHD. He has a lot of ADHD tendencies. I was diagnosed with ADHD. I have gone through the whole burnout balance thing, burning the candle at both ends, all the analogies related to that. So how did you guys start to identify like when you needed to pump the brakes, or what was your experience with like burnout and like whatever it was, like the passionate things that you're pursuing where like the detriment of your work-life balance started to shift and you were like, fuck, I need to really figure this shit out, and you're still doing it probably, or whatever it is, like whatever perspective you have, I'd love to hear it.
Go for it, Kyle.
I got thoughts. I work a very, very demanding full-time job. I am a database administrator, so my job is pretty much to put out fires anytime a fire happens, so like in the tech world. And what comes with that is a lot of small details and a lot of paying attention to those small details, making note of those small details, and executing on those small details several times with accuracy and without problem. So like naturally, my job can be kind of overwhelming for somebody that struggles with small details. So I actually last week had a very busy work week and a very busy work weekend. So I literally just couldn't stream. Like I was at my mental capacity where like I would go to work, I would come home, I'd be, I'd be exhausted at the end of the day from like a busy work day. And I would just I just couldn't stream. And that's mainly the problem that I have to this day, is that my job is so demanding and requires so much of my time on the weekends or time off hours when I'm not streaming, that I don't have the time to stream. I don't want to sit down and be energetic. I want to sit down and play video games without having to talk. So I, to this day, am still struggling to find a good work-life balance. I have never been able to find the perfect balance of stream, life, and work. And because of that, I think all three have suffered at one various point in my life in the past 4 to 5 years.
So you would say that the work-life balance portions, the scales tip too far into one of those 3 categories, and you're
Always.
still trying to figure out exactly
Every
how you
single
would
time.
balance anything.
Yeah, I've never been able to find it. I think recently, as of like now that I've changed my mindset on streaming, I've been able to, and the work I'm doing at work is I've kind of hit a balance with that. Like I feel that I'm able to now better prioritize what it should be. Like I'm okay with slacking more in the stream aspect than other places now, and I can do it in a better way that allows me to have more success as opposed to just being radio silent for a week. So I've learned from those mistakes in the past, but even still, like I've been doing this for 5 years, I'm still trying to figure it out. It's not easy for me. It doesn't
Yeah.
come naturally like it does for a lot of people.
Well, I would agree. Like, I'm in the same exact boat, or well, I was in the same exact boat. I've gotten a lot better now, but I won't share my perspective yet. I'd like to hear, well, a little bit more. Did you have any more, Kyle, or was like?
No, I just kind of wanted to just like start off with like it's not always like I find it. Like it's a fucking struggle. To
It's
this day.
elusive.
It is
It's an
still
elusive
difficult
thing.
for me to know and to know when to shift, to know when to pivot, to know what to do. It's difficult. It's always going to be hard for me until I find a new job, and then I'll probably have to try and figure it out again. And hopefully one day I can find the perfect balance of actually being able to be consistent on stream, make good content, and be able to perform at work and spend enough time with my my wife, and like still get things done around the house.
Yeah.
Who knows? I'll figure it out, but as of right now, it's just a dancing circus.
No, I feel like that's like honestly where I was too for a majority of my life. Like a big part of that figuring out work-life balance is identifying like what's the opportunity for you. And for me, like, and it may be similar just because we have similar tendencies, is identifying how you handle stress and catching it. Yeah. And so like therapy was a huge help for me in that aspect. Like for me, I was able to sit down with somebody who didn't know me, like slowly but surely identify the negative behaviors. And by negative, it was the things that were negatively affecting my life, right? And why those things caused me stress, and what's the key, like what's my response to stress. And stress is an ambiguous word, but when it comes down to it, stress can be excitement, it could be frustration, it could be a hiccup in like my plan for work or whatever it was that like I encountered during the day. And how did I approach it, and how what was the default mental pathway that my brain took me on. And identifying that was like so personal. Like I can only share what I've identified, and a lot of it came from like my childhood. Like in all honesty, it was just I grew up in a stressful situation in life, and I feel the most normal when I am stressed. So like I would look to make myself stressed because that's where all my endorphins and shit come from. Like that's where the stride, the flow state, the procrastination of not getting anything done and then doing everything that I needed to do throughout the day in the last 3 hours, like all of those things were unbeknownst to me, things that I had made as coping mechanisms for stress. And I would encourage you to like, if whenever you get the chance, and that's the hard part, is like getting the time to slow down and really assess and get to know yourself, like what those factors are and how you can like look at these things objectively and just like swim in it, understand you're swimming in the bullshit, and you'll know you'll get out of that. And that's a huge part of it too. Like forgiveness was probably like the biggest thing for me, because when you can't do something, or like you have a deadline, or like when I got shingles, like I set aside a week for I set aside a week to work on stream stuff, and I had shingles the same week. And I was like, I planned for this. I was like, we're taking a break from streaming. So I'm filming all this stuff. Yeah. And I just I couldn't work on half the stuff. Yeah, exactly. And I told everyone too, which was even worse. It was like, I'm going to be gone for a week. I'm working on stream stuff. I got shingles. Fuck. Like I'm not doing anything. You know what I mean? Like I did like half of the things that I'd like to do. Yeah. It's like, and it was out of my control. And the whole time I'm like a sulky bitch is how my brain talks to myself, because of, again, like the default mental pathway of how I talk to myself is the perception that you're a pussy. You're like, you should just be able to do the work, and you should do the work, and you should just put your fucking knuckles down and go, because that's what life has taught me, and that's how I've been conditioned to like think about these things. And objectively, I can look up at that voice and I'd be like, that's not the person I need here right now. I need the person who's gonna like baby me and take care of me, and like, Steve, I need you to just like love me a little bit, all right? And it's not this so much like separation of self anymore. It's more of like, listen, you're yelling at me and it's uncomfortable, and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. Like it's like this internal dialogue that happens. Yeah, and it's a very strange space to be in. But again, like I'm still figuring it out. Like the work-life balance thing, I've had it where like everything feels like it's perfect. I've got like the work shit down, I've got the life shit down, I've got the diet stuff down, and then like a week happens and I feel like a complete trash person, and the trash person is there talking to me, telling me how trash I am. Like it's not perfect, it's just practice and like all doing that over and over again. But like identifying the stress point, like when I am stressed or stress is coming, seeing it for what it is and like how I can actually approach it objectively was probably like the biggest win that I ever had, because it was like, okay, I just need to take a fucking break. Like I can't emotionally go into this or think about this thing analytically or have this conversation, because it is tainted by the way I'm handling the situation right now. And that's how I started talking with like colleagues and bosses and friends. I'm like, I need to go for a walk. This person that just called me on the phone, literally, I am fucking fuming for no reason. I don't even know this person. And my boss is like, yeah, dude, just go for a walk, come back. I'm like, completely different, you know? Like, you just need to, it's an interesting way of, yeah, exactly. Like, literally, get the fuck out of here. Go, 5 minutes. Like, and I power walked around the building. It's like listening to metal music, and I'm just like, okay, all right. And then I'm like, you know, after like 2 laps of 5 minutes of like just listening to the metal, I'm like, I'm okay now, you know? So yeah, but Bobo, go ahead and share your perspective. Yeah.
So the reason I say you guys are gonna be disappointed with me is because there's a lot of things that I do my fault, and I know it's my fault. So it's just kind of prefacing it that way. Work-life balance. I have a lot of problems health-wise, and I think me and Konky discussed it in one of our I guess talk show moments that we had. But you know, I normally work until like 6 p.m. and then I get like an hour or so before I gotta like set up for stream. And then I end really late, and then I gotta get back up in a few hours, like probably like 3-4 hours, and then start it all over again because of work. So for dinners and stuff like that, I eat a lot of like crappy food, like just my quick microwavable, you know,
convenience.
PostCubicleKyle chicken and microwave.
Salt, pepper, 45 minutes and you done.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the main thing that I've, you know, I have my my setup for. Like I get like a bag of like chicken nuggets, you know, ready to microwave them, throw it in there, bam, walk out. I mean, when Konky called me, I was eating nuggets from the top camera, not even from this camera. And it's like that's become my constant go-to because it's quick, easy, and then I'm ready to go. It's not healthy for you in any shape or form. And my job that I work with computers and all that jazz, and a lot of it is just me sitting down at a desk, you know?
Yeah.
So I come home only to sit down again. And this is someone who has heart problems, is an asthmatic, and also recently found out that I'm anemic. Which also sucks. So I'm not getting enough iron in my body, and there's a lot of things that are hacking up, and I need to take charge of it.
Leafy greens, bro.
I do, and the thing is, I'm not like, vegetables is not something that I'll shy away from. There's some vegetables I don't really like because it's just like texture and taste things. But you know, like I will eat them if it's something I like typically, and normally they're the healthier options. But the thing is just finding the time to prepare it, finding the time to actually stay active is very hard.
Yeah.
And I fall victim to a lot of the stuff, and then I'm like, the only way I know do this if like I know I'm physically paying for something, like not a gym membership, but like taking up like a skill, like I'm gonna take up karate, or I'm gonna take up like Zumba classes, and then like pay for it, and then then I'm like obligated to go.
Right.
And there's things that I've been looking at that and I'm like, man, they're like so expensive too. So it's like I'm falling in this weird area where I'm barely managing the work-life balance, and it's tough.
Wow,
It really
it's
is.
like we're all struggling here.
Yeah,
and
which is normal,
and I'm not like blaming, or there's no one else to blame but myself,
Yeah.
And that's one of the main reasons why, like, that's why I preface it like, man, you guys are gonna be so disappointed in this, because it's like that's like my main dinner is just, hey, I got hot dogs, heat them up, bam, nuggets, heat them up, bam, and it's
you're
like
talking about
I would love to have a
convenience,
conversation with you about quick and easy ways to get some good fucking meals in you.
right?
I love cooking so much, dude.
We need to talk about something that I can make quick and then bam,
I
go.
got you.
Yeah.
Easy peasy, man. I got you.
I even consider meal prepping, but the thing is like by the time the weekend comes, like I even work Saturdays, man.
You don't want to. I get it.
Yeah,
I've
it's
been
like
I feel it, man. We'll talk. I'll
Yeah.
message you sometime.
it's tough, dog. It really is.
Well,
And
dude,
I-
this is like a really good conversation to have,
It's
because
small
part
changes.
of like the
Mhm.
work-life balance portion is like asking for help, and like you have obviously a resource for cooking with Kyle, and like if you have any questions about nutrition and stuff, dude, like
Mhm.
I mean, I don't know how many times I've explained to like my family. I mean, they're Greek and stuff, so they like you would assume they know how to cook great food, but they're Americanized as all fuck. And so like I had to
Mhm.
change my entire family's like grocery store purchasing, because they were spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars on like snacks and all these things that like they're great for in the moment, but what ends up happening is you're nutritionally depleted, and so you're constantly hungry. And so like the thing, I'm not saying like I fucking love chicken nuggets, dog. Fried chicken is not even a kryptonite, it is like a necessity. Like fried chicken is amazing, okay? And but I love it. I could eat it every single day, but I know what it does, and I know the reasons why I like it. And so like looking at objectively the reasons why I would gravitate, like my palate would gravitate towards fried chicken over like chicken breast in the oven, is because of the fattiness or the fats that are, or the higher fat content in the fried chicken. And so like when you, and it sounds weird, but like part of the filter of getting healthier is understanding that what you're craving isn't the chicken nuggets themselves, it's the fat that's associated with the chicken nuggets. So how can you get that same satiated fat but in a healthier version of that? And you've got avocados, you've got grass-fed butter,
guac, bro.
Yeah, guac.
I
Oh my
love
god,
guac. I love avocados. I used to one thing I used to do, because it was quick and easy, I would heat up nuggets, right? And then I would cut open an avocado, take it out, bam, just eat the avocado like that.
Yeah.
Mash it in with my nuggets, and that was it. That was literally a meal of mine for.
Yeah. Oh, you cut out
like,
real bad
oh,
there.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Wait, which part did you cut off?
You were like, I used to scoop nuggets into my avocado, and then it was just like, oh, it didn't even say anything. Yeah.
That was like one of the meals that I've had and used for a long. The chicken and the avocados, and that was it. Just cut it open, bam, mash them up. Nugget, avocado, cheap, like just cheap, easy food. That was it. That's all I used to do, and I still do it. And it's bad. It's really bad.
Oh,
Don't get me wrong, avocados are good, but constant just chicken nuggets is where the where you have to kind of like draw that line.
Yeah, of course. Well, I don't know. A lot of it has to do with like it's variety and like having recipes and stuff too. Like we talked about this when you and me were on the show, and it was about like the topic of like your parents cooking shitty vegetables, so you don't like the texture of certain vegetables. Like my parents just straight up didn't know that, and I didn't know this either, but like the science behind vegetables and plants is that when you overcook them, like you would assume, let's say you want some asparagus, right? Everybody's had bad asparagus. It's mushy, stringy. Fuck that. It's terrible.
It makes your pee smell.
Well, the pee smell isn't so bad, like if you're into it, I guess. I don't know.
If you're into it.
Yeah. But all I'm saying is if you overcook it, right, what's really happening like on a scientific level is the cellular walls of the plant are breaking down at a high heat. So that's where the mush and the stringiness comes from. So like my parents didn't know that. I was like, I would like my asparagus crispy. So they would turn the heat on high, and I'd get like burned, mushy asparagus. And it was like,
What?
yeah, it was salt and pepper, and like it tasted fine, but the texture was all
Put
fucked
that
up.
shit on medium to low.
Yeah, first, and then you do high heat. So like, and I, my friend, one of my best friends, consider my brother James, gave me this book called The Science of Good Cooking, and it breaks down on a cellular level how things react. Yeah, it's a great book, dude. And basically, like, I didn't know this, but when you put it on low or medium heat for most vegetables, what you're doing is the cell walls like engorge themselves, and then and timing is different for each vegetable. For asparagus specifically, it's like 4 minutes at medium low, and then you turn it up on a high heat, and then the cell walls reinforce themselves, and like you get the texture of like steak, which is fucking awesome. Like if you can make broccoli like have the texture of steak and taste like butter, salt, and pepper, you're talking about, I'm fucking down. Like, give me that.
that sounds really, really good too.
Yeah.
It's like,
and it takes 4 or 5 minutes or whatever, and like you can meal prep that, and the way you cook it allows you to reheat it.
Yep.
There's two things that like I learned that were like really good. It's one of them was cotton candy grapes. Have you heard about that?
Yeah, I have.
They're really good, and it's like, oh man, like don't get me wrong, I love, but this legit tastes like cotton candy, and it's freaky, but it gives you all the same added stuff of like a regular grape. And then the other thing was like eggplant cutlet.
Eggplant, dude.
It tastes just like a chicken cutlet.
It's like a chicken patty, man. It's great.
Yeah, and I'm like, this like blows my mind. And no, I don't eggplant. When I had that, I was like,
Bro, get into the
legit,
cauliflower life.
cauliflower life, oh dude, cauliflower rice with
Two
lime
ingredient
salt.
dough, bro. I got
Oof.
I got all the fucking recipes for you, man. You get a cup of non-fat Greek yogurt, a cup of self-rising flour. You mix that shit together. You got yourself some low-carb pizza dough, baby. Like you're
It's
done. Like
legit.
it's yeah, it's so easy. And you throw that in the oven for like 7 minutes with some cheese and sauce on there. You got yourself your own little personal pizza. Takes like 10 minutes. Like it's like the easiest things to make that are good for you, healthy, filling, full of nutritional value. Like
Right.
I got you, bro. We'll help you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You might need to slide them.
I'm very excited. I love cooking so much. I would love to help you.
One of the things I wanted
that'd
to
be
touch base really quick on was what Kyle was talking about, like the struggle with work-life balance and how you cut down on streaming to accommodate like the work and life portion, which I think is a really big thing. Like that's what I ended up doing. Like I stream 3 days a week. Outside of that, like if I do another day, it's because it's accommodating another person's schedule. So for you guys, like I don't stream on Fridays, but availability on Fridays, like I'm going to have a great conversation with a couple friends. Like I know it's going to bring to fruition a lot of great conversation and discussion. Like that is worth me dipping into the like work-life balance a little bit more. You know what I mean? So how a lot of it is like, how do you weigh what's going to be better for you and what's going to be good, or like what's going to be better, best for like the balance in general? And I don't think the answer is everybody has a great work-life balance. I think everybody, like you described, Kyle, is sort of in this spot where they're constantly like juggling things and they slowly figure out what works best for them. But I think a lot of it is objectively looking at what you can and can't do, and that can't do may be cutting back on like streaming, just so you can accommodate the life part. Because it's not that streaming isn't beneficial, because that's the hard part. Is like, well, if I cut back on streaming, like that means I'm going to be less relevant in what I'm doing, and the more I stream, the more content I'm creating, and like definitely that's a huge factor in it. But when it comes down to it, you as a person existing in a space outside of stream, if you can exist as your closest to your best self you possibly can, with stress, diet, sleep, all of those things, then you're going to come to stream even better than what you were.
Yeah.
By a lot. And you're going to be a lot more powerful, I think. That's what I felt like. I don't think like validating it or whatever, like through numbers and stuff. Like I haven't really done like a deep dive into it of when I started doing this and can like be like, yes, scientifically, I started doing this and this works out just perfectly now. You know, like I can't do that. All I can tell you is like from my experience, when I cut back on streaming and started, okay, well, every day, like I'm working out every day, but I'm not going 100%. I'm just doing it consistently. I'm doing 60% of like my total workout load, and I'm changing it up so that I'm not getting bored, you know, like, and it's between these times. Like, yes, I get a little bit sweaty, but like sometimes I don't even have time for a full workout. I'll do the warm up, I'll do a few things, but the important part is just consistency and trying to get the time down. And that's it. Like starting it is way more important than putting it off and like, okay, I'll schedule it or I'll eventually get to it. The consistency portion, just like streaming, it's so weird how we're like, we got to consistently stream, but we don't do it for like working out or diet or anything else. Like that stuff tends to go on the back burner.
Consistency is key. Like that's the whole thing.
Yeah. Practice makes perfect, right? So
personally, I feel like if I were to like, now this is just for like me, and I know this wouldn't work for you guys because you guys don't have any me, but if
you're cutting out again.
Oh, I hate that I keep doing that. I think it might be my Discord take the sensitivity.
Yeah, it's your Discord sensitivity.
I guess
you're fine. You can just get up in that.
How's this? Is this
good?
better?
Yeah, you're good. Go ahead.
All right. So I think if I were to combat my anemia specifically and just kind of change my overall diet a little bit, I might be able to get longer streams and more energetic streams in, because there's been times where while I'm doing this, I'll get burnt out and tired while streaming. Even like 4 or 5 hours or even like 3 hours drains me, you know, like if I did like a whole 24-hour stream, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So like even like when I recently just did a 12-hour stream, I was exhausted 6 hours in. I was already done, you know, and it's one of those things that I have to figure out a way to combat that. And then it'll not only just, you know, help me give a better quality of my stream, but also just overall, you know, my whole life really. But it's tough trying to get that balance in.
Yeah. Well, you have to like you said, you know where you need to start, and a lot of it has to do with diet, right? So it's like, okay, so what can I do to give myself the fuel to do the things that I want to do? And sleep and diet are like the two main ingredients for most of human function.
Yeah.
You know, and like the hard part is transitioning entirely into the diet and consistency part, because it's easy to like fall back into those not bad habits. I would just say like the habits of having, you know, chicken nuggets more than twice a week or something like that. It's easy to do that because it's accessible and it's immediately available. But if you're practicing the good stuff and you're holding each other accountable, and that's like the best part about having an awesome partner like Japa, you know, it's the same thing with like Leia. Leia's Filipino, you know, like my wife is Filipino. She grew up on rice and fried pork and like all these delicious, dude, it's so great. Thanksgiving's amazing. Okay.
I love Tagalog food. Have you ever had like the what is it, lumpia?
Yeah,
lumpia.
100%.
Really good.
Yeah, it's really good.
Sorry for getting you off. I love lumpia food.
Dude, no problem. I didn't know, like, I hadn't had any Filipino food until I started dating when I started dating my now wife, and I was like, I can't believe I didn't even know this was like part of the diet or whatever. And then over the years, I was like, okay, well, I mean, her mom's diabetic and her dad is overweight, and I'm like meeting her family members, and I'm like, okay, I see a consistency here. You guys eat this a lot, and I'm like, where does it come from? And like, I understand the culture behind it, because the Philippines are not, you know, a rich country or anything. Like, a lot of people leave the Philippines, family members leave the Philippines, a lot of mothers leave the Philippines to send money back home, and they do care packages filled with Oreos and like all these American foods, and it's mostly rice that what they're eating, so it's all carbs, and there's a whole conversation around that, but essentially what it comes down to is like, what are you powering your body with, and like, how can you fundamentally change that? And it's just consistency and practice and holding yourself accountable and being disciplined about it. And you have to start small. Like, everybody sets the bar and they're like, tomorrow I will do this. It's like, dude, you're not gonna fucking win. Like, you can't just like revamp everything. And even your like, and this is something I learned when I started when I was working at I was working at a very stressful job that paid very well, but it was in a very prestigious company, and I was eating conveniently just like you were, and I went cold turkey and just went back on my regular diet, and my body could not literally take the switch, because your gut bacteria changes over those past few weeks. So like what I experienced was like, I was doing keto diet, and so like you get the keto flu if you do like a hardcore switch. And what that essentially is, you have flu-like symptoms for like a week and a half or whatever, and your body purges all the bad gut bacteria through your urine and other means, and it's not fun. It was like the worst fucking thing I ever did, and
that sounds gross.
It's terrible. It's not fun.
Yeah.
And what I had, like, after not doing enough research, I realized you could slowly but surely like eliminate carbs, and it's just a matter of measuring what you were eating. So instead of going cold turkey, I should have weaned myself down instead of just like, I'm gonna get the flu now, you know. It was so what my biggest advice, I guess, is like, do your research if you can, and if you need help, ask for help. And then the whole like diet portion and like being active, like, don't just fucking set the bar so high you'll never achieve it. Start very small, you know.
It's tough. It's a tough thing. It's just finding out where to start. I think the hardest part. You know what they should do? I feel like this is something that would be really great. Someone needs to do like a Twitch streamer or content creator, or people who just work at home in general and just like do a lot of working and sitting down at their jobs. Just make a I guess like thing, like whether it's video or a book saying, hey, here's a good way to eat healthy and this and that, and how to, you know.
Oh man, if you're not a streamer, you don't know anything about it.
Oh yeah. If you're not, you can't do it. You can't do it.
Called the fuck out, poser.
Yeah. Get the fuck out of there.
No, but seriously, I feel like that is something that if we throw that out, if someone, not us specifically, but if somebody throws out there, I don't know crap about it, but if someone throws that out there, I would eat that up in a second. Just go through that whole like book. Like, man, this is something that's like super useful and helps out my, you know, my overall health. Not taking advantage of anybody specifically, but you know, hey, you know, it's just out there. If you want to find out more information about it, bam, here you go.
Hell yeah. I know it's getting a little bit late too. It's 11 o'clock for me.
Yeah, I was just about to say. I was like, I think
midnight.
Cal.
I'm like falling asleep, dude.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
trying
you've been
really hard
quiet, so I was like, oh shit, what time is
I'm
it?
trying really hard to like not fall asleep and pay attention at the same time.
No worries.
Just to be honest.
Before we end, would you guys mind doing like a few like questions? Is that okay?
I'm down.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah. Does anybody have any questions for Bobo or Kyle or me?
Don't ask me shit. I don't know anything. I'm also tired. Do you really want to keep me up any longer?
Are you tired? Question mark.
Oh, God.
But yeah, we're more than happy to take questions now. I'll see if anything's in the polls. I don't think so.
I think there was one that.
Oh, Kyle's got one. What
the-
that mouth do?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
What that mouth do? Who was that for?
me.
We care
That's
to
great,
elaborate?
thank you,
Did you just question yourself and
baby.
answer?
Yeah, we'll talk later tonight.
This one's from Savage Stalker, also sassy. How do you casually tell the person who latched onto you at the company picnic that you've run out of talking topics and just want to get drunk?
Oh, I don't. I just leave. Fuck that person. I don't
Goodbye.
I
care
haven't
about that
encountered
coworker.
that situation.
I don't care about that coworker. I'm literally just having a conversation with them because
Yeah.
it's convenient. Fuck them. I'm going home to get drink by myself.
There you go. Drink with my online friends.
Right, exactly.
Okay, cool. Konky, does the stash take a little wife when you kiss? Yeah, sometimes.
My wife gets upset with me when I don't trim my beard. It hurts her lips.
This is all that I can get in regards to facial hair, but
Just
it's
that.
very prickly, very frustrating.
It's frustrating.
Yeah, it's frustrating because this is all I get, and then if
Just hurts. Just gets
if I
like,
just
aggravated.
there's like a whole bunch of needles just going in, just right in her face, just bam. It's not fun. This is it. This is all I'm gonna get.
All right.
And then you
well,
guys got like full on facial hair.
I mean, I just got blessed by the I saw literally like physical evidence of mustache genes in my family, and I was like, I'll do it.
I have some pretty good. I got some mustache genes. If I grew it out and kept it trimmed, it would look real nice. But I'm a beard guy.
Yeah.
Don't laugh.
I used
but
to
I've
be a
genuinely
beard guy.
thought about getting the surgery to get a beard.
You should.
They have
I
a
thought about
surgery
it.
for that?
Bobo
There is.
beard.
They take the hair follicles from your ass cheek.
What?
And
You about to have
Is
a
that what
butt
Rick Ross did?
beard?
huh?
Is that what Rick Ross did?
I don't know, but that's legit how it is. They take the little like there's like these little hair follicles in your butt, put it in, and inject it into your
There's
face.
similarities
Why?
between ass hairs and face hairs.
I have no idea, but
Brings a whole new meaning to the term butt face.
Yeah, it
yeah,
does.
I know.
Especially if you had like a butt chin, your little poops out.
Let's not talk about
Oh.
that, all right? Listen,
Huh?
I'd like to file a personal complaint.
Because he has a butt.
It's hidden, but you better be careful about who you talk about in public because they just might have butt chins hidden underneath their facial hair. Mr.
It could be a
Dom.
strong butt chin.
It's very
There's
strong butt
there was
chin.
a
It's
friend of
cleft.
mine.
A
I
cleft.
was in a band
Yeah,
with
sorry.
him.
Cleft.
That's the
do
scientific
that.
term.
Yeah.
The
So
cleft.
deep,
The cleft chin.
Has anybody done that to you though, where they'll just put their finger right in between the cleft and just?
Probably
like,
wife.
all through high school. The same people that made the fucking South Park and Monster jokes. So
Oh,
get in line with your dumbass jokes, people.
Kyle's
damn.
pretty much done with your shit, and he's tired.
I'm team
So
anti-dumb. I am team anti-bad jokes. Like if
Next-
it is a joke that everybody makes, it's not a good joke.
I'm
Next
with
joke,
ya.
please. Yeah.
I'm with you.
You know, I think
Yeah.
just this one time when next time I see you, I'm just gonna
It's fine. It's okay.
I'm just be like, hey Kyle, just
fine.
right here.
It's fine.
He's just gonna give you some
You're too
monster
wholesome
and
of a
like
human.
in
I
a
don't really
tinier
have any
can and
buttons
try
to
to pour
press
it
on
into
you.
your.
We're not that was so like I'm in a bad situation where one, we're not good enough friends, nor do I know you well enough to have buttons to push back. So we'll
Soon.
we'll cross that bridge when we come to
Yeah,
it.
you'll figure 'em out at
We'll
TwitchCon,
figure it
yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, just start saying generic positive advice at me, and it'll
Yeah,
fucking trigger
yeah.
me.
Oh, just give unsolicited advice about
Yeah.
like, hey, did you know that
I
You don't
can't.
have
I'm not enough of an asshole.
support a streamer? You know.
Yeah. Yo, you trying to lurk for lurk, bro?
Okay, no questions, guys. No questions. Before Kyle's tired, I can see it. He's diminishing.
He's
We've got like 10% power, and he's gonna shut it down.
It's fine.
I'm
Wait,
trying
someone said that he has permission to bite your finger. Then
I'm not into that.
Mm-mm.
oh, he just doesn't bite it. He just like suckles on it a little bit.
Suckles? What?
You know the term suckle?
Yeah, I know it, but it's like you chose on that one.
Yeah. It's
God
you
damn
know.
it.
suckle.
Suckle, just-
Supple,
it-
supple.
Supple,
it's not
suckle,
like a
yeah.
full-on, like devouring of, but it's more like just like a.
Okay,
Yeah.
guys.
Supple stillskin, you know?
Well, here, before I have a question. Konky, I'm going to see Jappa and Bobo at Twitch Chicago. Yeah, you will see me. Keon, it'd be a pleasure. You have
Yeah,
some
dude.
very,
Be good to meet Keon.
I enjoy
He has a good
your
resume. He's
content on
so good.
Twitter. I wasn't following before, but if I will have to catch you live sometime, my dude. The hard part
Keon's
is
a
like
really
I
good
know a
guy.
lot of great Chicago and Central Time streamers, but they stream at the similar times as me sometimes, so it's like I have to allocate time. So forgive me if it's a while, but I appreciate you coming in and like joining the conversation. I really do, because this was awesome. I thank you guys, like Bobo
was
Kyle,
fun,
like
man.
thank you guys for agreeing to do this. This is
good
the first
shit.
one we did where we did 3 people. I'm
Excuse me.
extremely comfortable with this. It took me a little bit to get like cameras and stuff down for
Yeah.
a bit, but because Discord's kind of weird, but I think like maybe we can do a 4th at some point, and I'd love to
Oh shit!
do one
Careful.
later on.
Then you just become another podcast.
Yeah, I want to be careful
Oh.
about it, right?
We do a 4th. How about let's just bring all our significant others up.
Podcast with 5.
Now we have
different
6.
Panels, all with the same
You're right,
about
you're
the
right.
Same shit.
God damn it. Well, hey, we discussed what was different about this one, okay? We discussed it, but you're right. You're not wrong.
Here's Konky. Got a great idea for my friend. Here's what you're gonna do. All right, solid color and/or textured background. Boom. 5 different camera slots. Boom, 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 boom. Then you put the logo right in the center. Boom. There you go. You got yourself a podcast, baby.
God
Let's
damn.
go.
I like
like
this
that.
idea. Let's put the most panels, record number of panels.
Yeah.
Like fucking
What?
15, 20
500
people.
person podcast.
Oh,
So
God.
how about this? Here's one that you can do, Konky.
Okay.
What about having a talk show interview? Three panels. All of them are you. Pre-recorded.
Pre-recorded?
Answering
My God.
questions.
That'd be an art piece.
That is something. All live.
Like, we're going to take a question from the audience?
Yeah, and just plan it.
Yeah.
Someone's just in there already. Like it's a
You know
plan.
who's got an amazing talk show that I think needs to do them more is the Sushi Dragon.
Yes.
Yeah,
That
he's
guy's
got
cool
like an
dude.
Eric Andre setup. Like,
Of course he does.
it's
Yeah,
well,
he-
it's very much him. Like, it doesn't feel like Eric Andre. It feels like it's just him. And a lot of the gags that happened on the show, they were actually the result of like a like a fucked up scene. Like, he's got this scene where like he sits down in a couple chairs and the person appears like next to him. And there was when he was transitioning scenes, there was a smaller chair that didn't disappear, and so he uses that for like his feet now. So like he'll zoom in and like it'll be super zoomed in on his feet sitting on a smaller chair of the one he's sitting in. It's fucking amazing. But yeah, so no more questions. Okay, we're gonna wrap up, guys. Kyle, Bobo, thank you
This was
guys
fun.
for sharing your
This was awesome
perspective
again.
and
Yeah.
experience. I'm very humbled to have like met you guys through the internet and also have like a full on conversation for so long. I'm excited to do this
likewise.
again, later. So,
Hey,
you guys,
if you ever need me on again, just reach out.
you got
need to
it.
Tell people to shut up. You got it. I'm on it.
All right, sick. Before you guys head out, I want you to tell us like when you're gonna be streaming all that stuff, or maybe just like the last little blurbs about yourself, I guess. Or yeah, if you have any questions for me, do them now. I'll start with Kyle.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm Kyle. I make jokes and I have strong opinions. They're probably gonna make you upset, but that's okay. That's why. But I will talk to you about them if you do disagree with me. I'm not gonna be a jerk about it. Also, I'm gonna be at TwitchCon, so if you're going to TwitchCon, feel free to say hi. Come say hello to me. I'm not mean in person, I promise. Yeah, this was a lot of fun. Thank you, Konky, for having me, dude. It's always a freaking pleasure to like come and hang out with you. I do stream, psych. Thanks. I stream on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and I play chilled out video games where we can talk about really interesting stuff.
As
Cool.
somebody who would tell you as a viewer of Kyle's content, it's like very much sitting in a coffee shop with some chill music and like just enjoying the company of your friends and having conversation.
It's like if you got on that free Starbucks Wi-Fi and the only place you
Ooh.
could go was my stream.
Like, coffee tastes better than Starbucks. Let's
Everything
just
else
be
is
real.
Able to load up in the browser.
Yeah, you.
I'm a
boot it up and
coffee
it's like,
snob,
Would
dude.
you like to log into Twitch to watch Kyle? Like, that's what
It's either yes, and that's it. That's
yeah,
all.
you click no, it sends you to the Google homepage.
All right, Bobo, your turn. Go, bud.
I guess if you guys want to catch me, I'll be live again on Monday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or 9 p.m. CS. I really don't know how to explain my stream, so I guess you just have to come see it.
Go see it.
I don't know how else to explain it. I was once told that it's like a circus. I don't know if that's. I've also been told that I am the Jimmy Fallon of Twitch. I don't know if that's a bad thing.
That's a bad thing.
That's a bad thing.
Because I was like, I
Laugh
don't
at your
find
own
them
jokes
funny.
all the
Well, you
time.
don't laugh. You don't laugh at your own jokes and shit all the time.
Sometimes I do.
Hey guys,
Yeah, but you're not like. It's not like habitual.
I'm Jimmy Fallon.
Oh man.
Fuck you, Jimmy Fallon. You see me?
But I've been told that I was the Jimmy Fallon of Twitch, and I was like, man, I don't know if that's a compliment or not. I mean, he's pretty. I guess he's successful, right? I mean,
I'm still gonna
Dang.
go with this quote. I'm KonkyTalks64. I'm the handsomer Chris Pratt, according to BoboChet.
yes, you know, I've introduced you as that a few times.
Yeah.
I think I've even
I was
because
like, what?
at the start of my stream, I talk about everyone that's currently live on the stew, which Konky's is a part of. And one time he was live, and I think I said, if you want to see the handsome Chris Pratt, you're not even in there. And I was just already saying it too. It's like, Chris Pratt, go check him out. You don't believe me?
I was
You wanna check
flattered.
his-
I was like,
Go
what?
check him out right
Look at this.
I don't look like this, man.
It's the more handsome, more socially progressive Chris Pratt. What's up?
now. Throw Konky into Guardians of the Galaxy. I'll watch it.
Oh, God.
Thank you
want a
guys.
Chris Pratt that looks good, but also is okay with women having abortions. There you go.
I loved you in Parks and Rec. Thank you guys again. Seriously, it was a pleasure to have you guys on. For all you guys who are coming in, we do this show normally Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday mornings. We're gonna be live tomorrow playing Ocarina of Time again. These episodes are always highlighted as well, so if anybody wants to watch any past episodes, they're all organized. All past interviews, all that stuff are all in the collections there. They are in the process of being put onto YouTube to be watched like there as well. They're like over 60 episodes exported, and I'm going through currently editing all of the content like text wise and seeing what's okay to post and all that stuff. So it's taking a long time, so I appreciate any patience. If you guys want to find out when we're doing shows off schedule, please follow on Twitter. And again, if you didn't see this before and you're just getting in, please go follow Bobo, go follow Kyle. And we'll see you guys later. As far as who we're going to raid, it's late night, conversations pretty chill. I'm going to bring you guys over to Sequisha. Sequisha is one of my favorite streamers.
Better mustache than me.
He's got a sick stash, but more importantly, I think he's just like he fits the energy level that we've been expressing pretty much this entire time. I think it's a good like energy transition.
Big fuck you energy.
Yeah, big fuck you energy. No bullshit. He's just a good dude through and through. He knows who he is, and he's not afraid to speak his mind and give opinions and talk. And I got mad respect for him. I hope to shake his hand and maybe eventually have him on the show someday. That'd be a fucking win for me. Yeah, if you guys need anything, please Twitter, all that fun stuff. I know everybody plugs their Discord. If you want to join the Discord, it was created not around me, but around sharing experience, music, talk shows, ideas. If you want to be involved with the show, submit articles for our Thursday night episodes with Lee, one of my best friends who we talk about scientific topics for. There's a whole section in there. Make sure you choose a role or ask for a role when you join in. Thank you guys again. Seriously, I really appreciate you coming by.
Thank you for having us.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, dude.
This was a great episode. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you for having
The raid
such
message.
an amazing community and such a supportive, positive mindset. You're just a joy and light upon this streaming community.
Thanks, man. Oh shit, we're getting raided again? Wait, mix and
I
match?
guess we got to do the talk show for another 4
All
hours.
right.
I guess we're in here.
Well, this raid, welcome in everybody. We're raiding another person, so copy this. We're leaving. It's a raid train.
You're just in time.
You're just in time for a raid. Copy that. That's the raid message. Feel free to add whatever emotes you want. Thank you guys. We gotta go. All right. I love you. I'll miss you. Okay.
We gotta go.
Gotta go. Goodbye. I love you. Bye. Okay. Awesome.